Oi, guys, and welcome to the Opie-Verse. I don't know why I'm Irish. I can't do a Newcastle accent, but yeah, I hope everyone's doing well. Jamie will be with us in the next sort of minute or so. He's just running a little bit late. So I hope everyone's having well. If you've been enjoying the Opie-Verse so far, let us know in the comments. Let's see who's in at the moment.
Whoa. What's going on here?
Nothing. It's fine.
Shambolic.
Hi, Liam. How are you?
I'm all right, Jamie. Should we try that again?
Let's.
I think.
Cheers.
I think we'll try that again to the Opie-Verse.
Shit. Did I leave the stove on?
Phase 2 is here, guys. There we go. New intro. Do you know? So massive shout out to a guy on Instagram, and I'll just get his name absolutely correct. So the official Danny with a YT. He did a video. I did a post about a week ago saying he was doing intros. He and I spoke about 6 months ago about doing some stuff for the stream before I even knew what I wanted. And then he was like, oh, I'm doing intros for like £5. I was like, no, surely not. So I spoke to him. I thought it was going to be one of them where it's like, it's £5 to start with. But if you want this, it's £10. If you want this. But he's just basically a young lad who's doing it. So we did that. And then we got the street. We built upon it. We spoke a few times. We kind of shared a few things, and then ended up with that. So yeah, it's pretty cool. I do enjoy it. And like for £5, and then he's done like an end of stream one as well, which is very different. Just a nice way to finish. He charged like £3 for that. So obviously I give him a tenner, like just standard British rules, always just round up to the nearest whatever. But yeah, so I'm happy with that. So that'll be the last time you see the countdown. And if you guys are like joining late, I mean, we're a late starting anyway, but you definitely need to go back after the stream and watch that. I might
watch the beginning.
I might play it again at the end just for crack, but that was good. But never mind. Hey Jamie, how are you?
I'm very well, thank you. Yeah, all good. Really happy to be on finally. I know it's been a while for us to actually get this one scheduled in, but I'm really happy to be here.
And I am very happy to have you here as well. It is great to have you here, and it's also great to have you here, James, Paul, Harvey. I'd see you in there for the Republic. It's a busy one now. We've got Spawn, the infamous Spawn. Honestly, he's everywhere.
It's the Lego himself.
He's everywhere. Harvey's feeling the intro. And then Ultron Grainer. So yeah, you might have missed it. And then Joe, how's it going? But yeah, I'll play the intro in the middle at some point. But yeah, I'm really happy with that. But how are you, Jamie? How's your week been? How's your year been so far?
Year's been good. So obviously me and Ellie, my wife, we were back in the UK for Christmas. And then we got back to Bulgaria mid-January. Lots of COVID hit the family, which was good fun to deal with. So our big UK travel plans didn't really go ahead as planned. We spent half of it in isolation, which was great fun. Yay, I was very lucky not to get it. And obviously with the UK rules, if you don't have it and you test negative, we can still pop to the shops and do all that sort of stuff. So Ellie got it, my stepmom got it, and then my mum was then booked in for a hospital appointment a few weeks later. So she didn't want to risk catching it from anyone. So then we didn't get to see her over Christmas properly. So yeah, that was fun. And then my stepsister got it. So then we came back to Bulgaria early. So because we were still supposed to be for the end of January. Right. So that's fun. And then start of this week, we went skiing, which is great. We've got to go see my grandparents.
In Bulgaria?
Say that again.
Was that still in Bulgaria?
Yeah. So we are very fortunate. So my grandparents live next to one of the big ski resorts in Bulgaria. And my granddad, my wife's granddad, used to be the ski manager of like the whole resort. So he still knows people. So we still get a pretty decent discount when we go. So that was good. So we skied for 3 days. I had a massive accident on day 2, which was great fun. And then I'm pretty much back to normal now. So over the weekend, we did some Lego training. So I'm running my academy, which we'll probably talk about later. And now I'm here with you. So that's been January, February. So yeah, it's been a mixed bag, but good. How about yourself? How's your January, February been?
It's going all right. I'm just very curious as what peladophobia is. I originally saw that and obviously thought something else, and then my eyes adjusted, and I was like, "Yeah, that's not what." I was like, "What?" But yeah, it's either bald heads or beards, right? So I don't feel like it's is it beards? Is it
fear of twins? Maybe the fear of people looking the same. I don't know.
Could be. Wrong answers only in the comments, please. But yeah, so this week, I'm just so busy with work. I have not been able to get live on kind of TikTok as much as I'd like to be, but I'm at that kind of precarious position now where all of my sets are bigger sets. So I probably wouldn't finish them in a single build. And then I kind of thought, well, that's where I'll start then doing like YouTube builds as well. And I will do that, but I just need a few bits to do that. So I'm kind of, but yeah, I'm all over the place, to be honest, but generally all right. Like, can't complain. I don't know about you, but it just feels like time is passing so quick right now.
It's blown by. Yeah, this start of the year I can't believe it's mid-February already.
Well, I mean, that's it. I mean, it's like we're 10 days away from March.
Yeah.
Come on. But never mind. But yeah, skiing, that's cool. Did you see you had an accident?
Yeah. So on my second day, I hit ice and my skis basically went over my head. I then went over with them and landed on my skis. So I knackered my knee, so I proper walloped it, and then I got whiplash for about 4 days, where basically, because I hit the ground with my head. So my goggles hit my face, so hence the mark on my nose. You can't see it in this camera. But I cut all my nose, cut all my knee open. And then I was basically like Batman for the few days after. I was like turning around like this because I couldn't move my neck. But then that's eased up, luckily. But I still managed to ski on the 3rd day. I don't know how I did it, but I think adrenaline and the fear of I've already paid for my ski hire, so being British, I wanted my money's worth.
Of course. Stick up a little all that.
Yeah, and they weren't going to offer a refund for my stupidity. So yeah, apart from that, it was really nice. Good snow, lots of English people there this year because it's English half term. But it was good. And you're going skiing soon, like you said, on one of your videos?
No, not me.
No? I must have misheard you then.
I love skiing, but I haven't been skiing since, like 20 years now. But I absolutely loved it. I once had a bit of an accident where I was braver than I thought I was better than I was. Yeah. And then, so I can't remember exactly how it happened, but we went off piste, and that was really cool. I always enjoyed going off piste. And then when we re-entered the piste, the thing that I saw as I entered the piste was a black flag, and I was like, oh shit. And this is like I think this is the 2nd time we went skiing, and I was not a black flag. Is it blue then green or green then blue?
Green, blue, red, black, and then diamond. But I don't know what diamond.
So like professional. Yeah. But I was like top end blue, bottom end green. So top end blue, bottom end red. So I was like that kind of like confident, but like I was in that space. But yeah, it just ended this like black slope, and I was like, oh shit. So like everybody's like zipping down it because they're super confident, and I'm like snowplow, all the way down. Yeah, all the way down. And then I still think I managed to come off, and all I remember is I digging my fingers in as I was coming towards this like turn that had like a sheer drop, and I just like had my fingers into the slope, like I'm gonna die, I'm gonna die. But luckily there was a bit of a drift where everybody had pushed the snow towards the edge.
Could slow down in that bit.
Yeah, it was probably about a meter wide, but it was enough to just I'd managed to claw myself in so much. So yeah, but I would definitely go again. But I do prefer snowboarding. I did prefer snowboarding.
So I've never tried snowboarding. I don't think I've got the balance for it. Skiing, I struggle with enough, let alone on one plank. So it's like I'll stick with skiing.
Yeah, I was certainly a lot more nimble and leaner back then. So like you're constantly moving in snowboarding, you're constantly adjusting, whereas skiing you can kind of settle into a bit of a position and rhythm and go, and then just but never mind. But it is awesome. And do you know what? The best thing about it is the biggest piss up that you will ever go on.
This is is it après ski, do they call it? Where it's literally just, you ski, you drink by the fire, job done. That's your whole holiday. It's great fun.
What a way to live. But yeah, I would love to go. I've been trying to convince the missus to go, but never mind. Anyway, what are you drinking tonight, Jamie?
So this is called Primator. It's an India Pale Lager, but I think it's made in Bulgaria. Yeah. Oh no, Czech Republic. Oh no, it's from Czech Republic, apparently. It was a gift from a cousin. They came around the other day for dinner and went, "We bought you some beer," and it's like, "Thank you very much. I'll drink that."
That'll do. Indeed.
Yeah, it's very nice actually. I like an IPA. I never used to be really into. Yeah, Czech one's really nice as well. I never really used to be into beer. I used to be a very sweet drinker, like cider, spirits. Like Bacardi was my absolute that was my number one go-to drink. And Malibu and all that sort of stuff. Whereas now my palate's changed. Beer is delicious. So yeah, that's what I'm drinking tonight.
It is. I'm probably I don't enjoy an IPA though. I think an IPA is a bit like it's quite perfumey, quite flowery, and it's I just don't. I prefer the other end of the scale. I like a stout, a porter, those sort of things. But I was always a lager drinker and predominantly still am. But my father-in-law, so my wife's husband, my wife's father, he
your wife's husband, that's you.
That's me. He so my wife's father, he had a brewery so when I first met her, he did like homebrew, but like proper homebrew, like not just like one of those little kits. He had like a full-on like couple of grand set up in the garage. And then he did use that as like product testing and did beer nights. So I really got into it through that. And then he set up a proper brewery. Unfortunately, he had a fire in 2020 in kind of midst of COVID, and he just never set up again. So, but yeah, he massively got me into beer, and I was like, all right, okay, because I was just one of those where beer was beer, like all beer was the same. It was all John Smiths or Boddingtons. But then through him, I realized that actually this scale is massive of what you can get. But yeah, I did think this, Stevie. It's a hell of a size bottle.
It is a big bottle. I mean, that's scaled for head size. It is quite. What is it? So, it's a half a litre bottle. So yeah, it's it'll keep me going for the next hour or so. I've got another one in case.
Well, yeah, I feel it's a good job I haven't got a size complex because I'm just on little bottles of Miller. But never mind. Never mind.
Not the size, it's what you do with it. Don't forget.
Well,
that.
This is true. Factor cap. So yeah. But yeah, you and I have only spoke probably a couple of times properly like this. I think, you came on the stream last year. I think it's like a lot of people, we end up speaking more through each other's comments. Like one of us will be live, the others commenting and stuff like that. So I feel like I know in one hand know a lot about you, but it's more like headline stuff. So that's what one really keen to just kind of get that time to kind of chat, and then to give like the chat as well an option to the ability to raise questions and kind of explore things further about you. But yeah, I think that like the first thing for me is like, because you shared I don't know when you posted, but you did like the friends only post where it was like the Go Little Rockstar and it was you as a kid in that, which was really cool. I was actually waiting for, the version where it then goes into Nickelback Rockstar. I was waiting for it to cut to that, and it was like you growing up, still kind of collecting and being part of the Lego world. So that was pretty cool. But I think what I'm keen to know is you know, you were clearly a child fan of Lego, and then I know you went to work at Lego. Was it Legoland Windsor you worked at?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But was that when you, like, if your journey kind of pretty much started or restarted there as far as to where you are now, was it the love of Lego that like made the Legoland job like a dream job, bucket list job for you to have gone and done? Or was it when you went to work for Legoland, is that kind of what reignited your love of Lego? And then kind of we follow the journey through from there.
Yeah, it was definitely the second. It was the latter. So yeah, I think we all have it when we're kids, but when you're a kid, you've basically got a big tub of Lego, you build with it, it goes in a big chest, and then you kind of forget about it unless you're really into it. Whereas I think for me and my brother, we both shared a big tub of Lego. We also had Connects, which was the more movable style stuff, and that always interested me more. So I kept getting Lego, and then he kept getting Connects, and he had the big roller coaster, the Ferris wheel, and stuff like that. And so I
always remember the Ferris wheel.
Yeah, it's like the classic Connect set. I think if you had a Connect, you had that set because it was like the go-to one. And so I was more always into that with the motors, the gears, and I think that then kind of shows when I started the TikTok channel, I was always more into the moving stuff. So we both grew out of Lego when we were younger and Connect. So we basically went to a car boot sale, flogged it all. We had, we had the original Phantom Menace, Star Wars, we had the original Hogwarts Castle, we had lots of stuff in there, which at the time had no value. It was retail value. So it's kind of, you set on, we're done with it, we don't need it anymore. We sold it for like 20 quid, this big chest filled with stuff. And back then it was like, yeah, perfect, £20 that pays for something else because we don't use it anymore. And then you look back into it, and now I'm doing more like the Lego trivia and history and value of things. It's like, that's like thousands of pounds worth of Lego, which we sold for like 20 quid. And it's like, oh God. But then at the time, you just don't know. You don't realise that.
No.
So after that, I'm a actor by main profession. So I went to university, did musical theatre for 10 years. And I don't ever really talk about it on the channel because anytime I do like a sing-song video, it flops every single time because that's not what my channel's about. So yeah, I did Amdram, I did professional theatre, I worked in theatre all throughout university, with the goal to then become an actor. So when I then graduated, I started working at a local theatre doing that children's theatre, and that had more of an educational sort of slant on it as well. So it was more theatre, fun and learning at the same time. And I was like, yeah, this is cool. So like every week we do a different show. I played a janitor in a museum, and every week a painting would come to life.
Oh, like Night at the Museum.
Literally, my Night at the Museum, the painting would come to life. We would then do lots of silly songs and games and dances for like under 6-year-olds. But then you're teaching them about Van Gogh one week, and then you teach them about like Pollock the week after, all that sort of stuff. And it was just really good fun and silly and really child friendly. So when that season finished, I was then looking for work. Ellie was also looking for work. We were kind of in between because we lived in Scarborough, and there's not a huge amount going on in there. I don't know if you know Scarborough as a town. It's
very well.
It's like you're born there, you might live there when you're younger, and then you go and retire there. There's not much for the 20 to 50-year-olds going on unless you're a student.
No.
So we were kind of...
Why were you in Scarborough?
So there's a university there. So it's part of Hull Uni. So it's closed.
It's part of Hull Uni.
Closed now. Okay. But yeah, it's part of Hull campus, which no one really knew about. Neither did I. So when I was looking for universities, it was either Falmouth, down very bottom end of the UK, Lincolnshire, Birmingham I was looking at, and then Scarborough popped up with this course that looked really cool. So it was theatre and performance, so it was a bit of musical theatre, a bit of directing, lighting, anything to do with theatre, you could basically choose and like focus on it. So I ended up going there. And then Ellie, we then met at university, so she was doing the digital media course, which was in the same sort of, they called it a school, so it's the School of Arts and New Media. So we shared a course. So we basically met during this course, went on a few dates, rest is history. We're now married 10 years down the line. Lovely jubbly. So when we both graduated, she was a bit stuck of what to do. I was a bit stuck of what to do. So we both started looking for jobs, and then Legoland popped up, and they were advertising for entertainers. So I was like, okay, I've done theatre. I'd love to go down to Legoland. I love theme parks anyway. I had an annual pass for Alton Towers at the time. I knew Merlin very well as a business. So then I was like, yeah, well, let's apply for this entertainment job and see what happens. They then contacted me a few days later saying, we'd love you to come down for an interview. But at this time, we were living in Doncaster, and Windsor's obviously 3.5, 4 hours away. And at that time, we didn't have a car. So I was like, well, I can't come down to this interview. Let me know when the next line is, and then we can organise transport, get a train down, whatever. But they never got back to me. So I was like, oh, okay. Well, I missed out on that one. Let's keep looking for jobs. At the same time, because Ellie also applied for the same position, she then got a phone call from the education team. And they were like, oh, we're looking for people to join our workshop team, to run Lego workshops. We see you're a designer, so you've got the sort of background into how Lego works and how you can create things. We'd love to ask you for an interview. So she was like, yeah, crack in, let's go down. Because by this time we had the car, and I was like, well, let me drive down with you so you're not driving all the way down by yourself. So she went and had her interview. I sat in the car because I didn't get an interview. I wasn't offered an interview. So she was like, no, I didn't do that. Yeah. And then, but then at the same time, what she was doing was she was obviously selling herself. But then she mentioned at the end, oh, my boyfriend's in the car. He really likes like education. He's done this at uni. Would you mind having a chat with him? So they went, yeah, not a problem. We're hiring for 3 people. We've only filled 1 so far. So we are looking for 2 more people. So then I went in, jeans, t-shirt, unshaven, proper scruffy. Like I didn't expect to be having an interview that day. And I basically just went in, had a 5-minute chat with them. And then the day later, they called us back and offered us both the job. So then a week later, we both then packed up our stuff, moved down to Windsor, and we worked a whole year together in the education team. So that was running the Lego workshops, doing school trips, organising sleepovers, scout groups and stuff like that. So we did that for a whole year, which was great fun. So literally living, working together 24/7. It would either make or break us. A year later, we got engaged, and then now we're married. So it was fine for us both. But in my second year working at Legoland, I was then offered a team leader job. But what they failed to then mention at the time was that I couldn't then be Ellie's team leader. So by me getting promotion, forced her out of a job when she got me the job in the first place. So that was fun to deal with. But then because she was doing all that design stuff, she then got offered a job in the signage team, creating all the maps and the park signage and stuff that you see to kind of make your way around. So she worked there for 5 months, I think. And then she got offered a job to be a professional model maker. So in Windsor, you've got the Merlin Lego team, and they build all the models for the global Legoland parks. So if they don't have an on-site team, they actually are made in Windsor and then shipped all around the world. So that's
like Thick Chewbacca was potentially made?
Chewie was probably made there at one point or another before the Star Wars hoo-ha
British
happened.
engineering at its finest.
I love this. Big peachy Chewbacca. Have you seen that Preston Fields is there at the moment? He went to go find it.
He's back now, isn't he? Yeah, I saw that he's...
I know he got stuck overnight. I know he's in Chicago, but I wasn't sure he got back yet.
Yeah.
So yeah, then she did that. So like, if you go to the Discovery Center in Arizona, you can see her builds because she did some of the models for the Miniland there. So that was kind of her story. And then I then did team leader, and then I did my Lego education training. So I got to go to Billund, do the official academy course, became a trainer, but I didn't actually really do anything with that whilst I was at Legoland, because what I would do was manage the team that worked for Legoland, run events, do robotic competitions, and that was pretty much it. I stayed certified as a trainer, but I didn't do any training. So 2020, we then quit our jobs because we wanted to go traveling. So I'm sure you've heard on the account already, but essentially we wanted to go to Asia, go travel like 6 months, just go from Thailand to India. Why not? We're young, we've got some savings, let's actually go and do it whilst we can. And then obviously COVID happened, so that all got cancelled. And then we got as far as Bulgaria to see my wife's family before we basically did our big bon voyage. We were off. And we've been here ever since. So it was April 2020. I contacted Lego and basically said to them, look, this is our situation. What's going on in terms for Lego in Bulgaria? And they were like, well, we've just got this new company involved that are going to sell the Lego education sets in Bulgaria, and they need trainers to then go and deliver the academy training for the schools. And at that point, they didn't have anyone certified. So I was the only certified person in Bulgaria at that time. So we met with this company and we were like, this is our situation. Have you got anything going up? And they're like, yeah, can you start next week? We literally have people buying this Lego and we don't know what to do because we can't train them properly. So I was like, they're amazing. So we literally just started doing this Lego training. And that then all came to a halt again in summer when lockdown 2.0 happened in Bulgaria because COVID went woohoo. So all the schools closed, no third-party training happened. So it wasn't then until October that year when I kind of started working again. So to fill the time, I then started TikTok. and now I'm here.
I mean, that's like such a journey, and like I'm trying to like draw. So from a personal perspective, what I'm very interested in is you worked with your wife when you were at Legoland.
Yeah.
You then kind of you worked like, I'm guessing like on the day to day you worked together until you got that team leader job and she went to the design team.
Yeah.
But then at the minute, let me just say, so Dan, there we go. Thank you so much for the stream. I don't know if you've seen it. I don't know if you can watch it yet, just because we're live. I'm not sure, but I would thank you for putting it together. But yeah, this is Dan, and I'll share it on Instagram. But yeah, Dan, when it's all done, just good to see how we introduced it. I may play it again because there was a couple of people typically who missed it. But yeah, it's pretty cool. But anyway, back to, so yeah, my question is you worked with your wife a little bit side by side, but then do you guys deliver the do you guys work together on the daily? So do you deliver the training together?
Yeah, it's gone full circle. Now we're working together again. Yeah, so because I deliver the training in English, Ellie live translates it all into Bulgarian. So I know a bit of Bulgarian, but not enough to run a full academy training day. So where I can speak Bulgarian, I do, but then she is there to translate everything live for the teachers and then translate questions over. I understand more Bulgarian than I can speak. So when they ask me questions, I tend to be able to respond back to them in Bulgarian. But yeah, from not working together for 5 years, for them to go full circle to be working with Lego again, back together, traveling the country, it's a very different format to what we did at Legoland. But we love it because it means that we get paid to travel still. All our expenses are paid when we go to all these amazing towns and cities in Bulgaria. And we get to talk with teachers and meet them and just talk about what we love. We both love Lego. So for me, I always say Lego is my hobby, teaching is my passion. If you can put them both together, I am so grateful for the job that I've got. And then being able to then do that on social media. I mean, I started with Instagram, but I've kind of veered away from that because it's a very, very saturated market. And especially when it's only like, for me, it's very visual with images. And I don't have my Lego collection with me. So I was very much relying on other people's builds and models to then turn into content. Whereas with TikTok, I found that because my content is all very trivia based and very much learning about Lego, I'm not going to have all these Lego sets that I talk about. And luckily, Google Images is an absolute godsend. Because you go like, just use that and talk about it and then educate people about it. And yeah, I'm sure for you as well, Liam, it's like, the social media side of it all came because I was just shit bored during the pandemic. I had nothing to do. So I was like, well, how do I keep in contact with the people that I love, like the Lego community, talking with them, sharing my knowledge? And So let's start there. I mean, I was watching TikTok for a while, but never Lego TikTokers. I was just kind of following people like, lots of like big TikTokers now, but kind of when they're all very much the viral ones that you've got. But yeah, no Lego people until I started creating my own Lego content. And then I found people like yourself, Rossman Creations, Ilfan Builds, the Lego Fish, Fish and Bricks.
Yeah.
All these people, and Paul Denovich, they're all very much early ones that I kind of found and saw that there's this whole community of people. And I was like, yeah, this is really cool. And then it's just kind of been, what was that? That was like June, July last year, I started on TikTok. And I get people asking me all the time, it's like, where did you start? What was your idea? And for me, it was, I noticed a gap in the TikTok Lego market where a lot of people just talk about the sets that they have, and they kind of show really like all their amazing builds, their setups, stop animation, all these things I couldn't do and I didn't have. So I was like, what can I still do with Lego that still makes it personal to me? And obviously, because I love teaching, I love education, teaching about Lego, I was like, this is cool. I mean, most recently, you've probably seen my content has veered away a little bit from my normal day-to-day true or false. What Lego set is this? And did you know in this year this started? And it's like, I absolutely love the minifigure series I'm doing at the moment. It's so my sense of humor, which I hope people are enjoying, because I really enjoy making it, but I know it's very different to my normal content. Because
who have you done so far? Because I know you've done me, Ellie. Have you done Rolo?
You, Ellie, Rolo, and Bambi Omega. So in my drafts, I've got Matt Mellish. He's in there. Yeah. I've got Mac Bricks, and I've got Olivia, so Legolas. Okay. And they get more ridiculous as they go on. But for me, it's like, it's not malicious. It's not me. I'm just picking up on people's little quirks and being like, yeah, this is who we are. And it's like, at the end of the day, we are people. And it's like, you put on this persona of this, especially for my character. I don't want to say I'm a character, but I'm very family-friendly, learning-based content. And the moment we then do a recreation of Ellie's book with a minifigure in the back pocket, people are like,
very well done as well.
What's this content? And it's like, this is my humor. This is actually who I am. And it's like, I love the one I did for you because I've never done one before, and I didn't really say I was going to do it, and I didn't ask your permission, but I was like, you know what, let's just post it, and it just made me laugh. And for me, it's like, you watch these TikTok teachers, and they're like, how do you grow on TikTok? And people always say, post for your audience. And it's like, yeah, I get that. If you want to grow, post for your audience and post for people to follow and engage with your content. But if you don't enjoy it yourself, what's the point? Because it's like, you're going to get so bored of it, and you're going to get so fed up of doing the same old thing over and over again. Yeah. So it's like, change it up, like I'm doing now.
I also think as well, the bigger you get, the more diverse your audience is, certainly your followers.
Absolutely.
Are. So having a single kind of posting theme, just kind of like, it's kind of targeting that one piece, but one, by kind of diversifying a little bit, it plays to everyone, but two, it allows you to attract new people as well.
Yeah.
You know, people who might have seen you before, but kind of haven't hit that button, but then all of a sudden hit that button. And I think as well, ultimately, when it comes down to it, Lego is a creative tool. Like, that's what it's there for, right? And the whole point is to be creative with it. So that's all you're doing. Like, I think it's brilliant. So I just think you just keep going with it. If you're having fun with it, just like have fun with it.
And obviously it has a bit of a purpose, because it's like, if you create a minifigure of a bigger TikToker, you hope they are going to duet or stitch it, so then your video then gets over to them and it gets to their audience. And so I did one for Charlie Games the other day with the little Cheshire Cat and the bread.
Yeah.
So one of his videos, bless him, he did a video. It was basically someone posted comment bread in the comment. He's like that. Oh yeah, I love bread. Chris Bond, thanks for the follow. Blah blah blah. And it's like that's a really cute, wholesome video. It's on like 900,000 views. So his lives now are just filled with people commenting the word bread, just bread, 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 bread. But he builds upon that, and he doesn't take it as what have I done. He uses it to his advantage. So then I obviously did the minifigure with him, the little Cheshire Cat holding the piece of bread. He then duetted it, and it got like 130,000 views on his account, but only, I think it's on like 7,000 on mine. But overnight, I got 300 new followers from his audience.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's just a way to kind of engage with a new audience by doing something completely out of the blue. Because I would never have thought to have done like a bit of a teasy style post like that. It's like I'm not picking on people, but it's like it's a funny quirk that you've got, so I'm going to kind of highlight it and use it on my channel. So I mean, I'm sure people in the comments, hopefully you've seen it, but it's like I've got like Star Wars guys, he's going in there as well, as being the most clumsy person I've ever met, who spends far too much money on the most ridiculous things. Yeah. So Joe, you are in there. So I'm just waiting for someone to comment your name on a video, and then I'll do a video reaction for it. But yeah, that's kind of
that Charlie Games guys. He so I think I saw the video of the Cheshire Cat, and I saw you see it like he's someone you only recently found. Like I've only found him over the last couple of weeks.
Yeah.
But he has like was it like over 100,000 followers, probably even more now.
He sold 100K in a week. He's on 225 now, I think, because I was watching his live earlier. But I remember when I first followed him, he was on like 100K, and then these videos were just blowing up, and his lives have got like 200-300 people watching them at any one point, and he narrates it as he's going, and every second he's saying thank you for the follow, thank you for the follow, thank you for the follow. It's like he's just such a positive person to sit and watch and build Lego. I really
don't think I've seen any of his actual videos. I've only seen his lives on the FYP. But yeah, just like
it's mad. It's like I struggle with. I've not done a Lego live build for weeks now because I always struggle balancing reading the comments, making chit chat, building, thinking about the music level, thinking about is the camera angle right, the lighting right. Whereas now it's like you can have so much more control over just a video that you can then edit, post later, all that sort of stuff. I've got some sets to build. I bought some back with me to Bulgaria, but it's like I was finding building them live, I wasn't then enjoying the building process. I was too bothered about the live itself. I mean, I absolutely love chatting with everyone, but I prefer just to sit on camera and just chat to people and answer questions rather than having a distraction of building a Lego set, which is kind of hypocritical for me because that's how I grew an audience. Every day I was building a new robot, showing people what I was doing, talking to people in the comments, but I just burnt myself out. I was finding it turned into a job. Like 9 o'clock, I have to be awake. To be awake for 7 o'clock UK audience, build a robot, start to finish, talk with everyone, whilst everyone else is either still sleeping, making breakfast, getting ready for work, and I'm there just in the other room like a hermit, building Lego, chatting on my phone. And I was like, what is this purpose? Am I doing it for audience building? Am I doing it because I enjoy it? Or am I doing it purely because I think I have to? And I think I found the more I stopped doing it, the more I realized it was becoming, I was becoming a slave to gaining following through the lives. Whereas it wasn't really adding anything to the channel apart from just pushing existing videos. So yeah, and I'm sure you find the same with like the live builds. They're so hard to kind of pitch to the right audience and kind of what you want to do with it and why you're doing it. So
yeah, I think this time last year I was building my cantina. And I had the live builds nailed. Like I had a schedule would do these bags. I had it absolutely nailed, and I probably up until about the summer, I did quite a few. I was like live building like three times a week, so usually like Tuesday, Thursday, and then one day on a weekend. Had it absolutely nailed, and I always had front facing camera. So you didn't really, and then I would just do like between bags, I would do an update on like this is where we are and hold things up and all that. But yeah, it was when I go back now, what I almost get a bit like, oh, do you know when you realize you hit the FYP and like your lives at the FYP and you start getting like random people coming in, and like nobody's ever a dick or anything like that, but like you know people are in the FYP because like people always come in and like, oh, you sound like this person or you look like this person and all that. So I always know in that sense that it's like it's people who don't follow me, like, so they're that with that they're seeing me on the FYP and you're like, oh, here we go. And it's like I'm not really like bothered about that anymore, you know. It's like I enjoy the community I've got, and where you all sit and, you know, people might come on and chat and like we'll talk through the comments and all that. So I really like that. But yeah, I've been like having a bit of fun with it all as well. Like a couple of weeks ago, I was laughing, but like I set the mic rig up, which is this is on like a boom arm, and then I've got like one of these octopus phone cameras. So I've never ever done like what a lot of TikTokers do, is where they put the phone pointing at the build and then all you see is their hands and them talking. So I did that for the first time, but I plugged the microphone in and done it as full like Lego ASMR, turned the gear right up. Did that on like a Saturday night, and like people were like going, like some of the guys are like going to the toilet. They're like, I can't hear you, so I'm going to the toilet. They're like clearly like out on the, it was like Saturday night, they're out in the pub. And they're like Tom, one of the lads who follows us from up here, was like, I'm in Digital, which is like a big nightclub. He's like, sorry, I'm going to get kebab and I'm going to go home. And then he's like narrating in the comments. And I was like, that's brilliant. Like, don't end your night out. It was only like 11 o'clock. Don't go home from the nightclub at 11 o'clock because I'm doing like a Lego ASMR video. But yeah, I still do love going live, but I much prefer, I love kind of when it's within the community. I don't go live to build growth, but I like that when I do videos, but like people read into the video and then like follow, because typically the videos are niche. But sometimes as well, like, geez, like you'll put a random video that's slightly off niche and then you get flooded with followers and you're like, no, don't follow me for that video.
Yeah.
You're going to be so disappointed.
Yeah.
Don't follow me for that.
I remember when I first started, the amount of comments I got was like, are you Vsauce? It's like, hey Vsauce, Michael here. And people were following because they thought I was this YouTuber. I was like, no. I've got a beard, I wear glasses, and I'm bald.
Well, this is the joke at the beginning. This is exactly the joke that we're portraying at the beginning of this video, Jamie. So, like, because we're bald, bearded, and have glasses.
Yeah, right. It's like the minifigure says I'm doing me. And for those that are watching now, there's a Vsauce joke in it as well, because I think that's what people are waiting for, because those minifigure videos, that's building an audience that I didn't have before. Like they're going, because obviously, is it JB Bricks, I think.
JB.
He does like custom Lego minifigures, and they're amazing. They're so good. So I tried one in his style, but I was like, well, why am I copying his? That's his. Let's do a new one. And I think people just like seeing the creative side of minifigures, and it's like, yeah, here's what you can get in the shop, but let's actually merge it together to make something else, and then add a stupid joke about it. The one I've done for Mac Bricks, I don't know if Mac's watching at the moment, but I filmed it, and I was laughing for half an hour at my own joke, and I was thinking, if no one else likes this, at least I do, because I thought it was, it's ridiculous, but it really made me laugh. I'll record it. I'll send it on Instagram so you can see it.
No, I want to see the real deal. Honestly, just tag me in it, or send it. Just tag me or send it when you post it. But it's an interesting point though. Do you have a measure of success? So with like a video, like if you're looking at it as a video level, you post a single video. do you have like a minimum level of success that is like that video flopped if it doesn't get X amount of whatever? Or are you the sort that is like posted, it's gone, it's out of my mind, on to the next one?
So it depends what it is that I've created. I got really obsessed with it when I was doing my Star Wars robot series. So building the AT-AT, the AT-ST, and they were my viral videos. They weren't in the millions. I think the the AT-ST got to 500K, which I was super proud of because it was something that I built myself. I designed it, I modified certain things and turned it into a very TikTok-y style video. And it did really well. The AT-AT then did well after that one, and people have been asking for tutorial videos for it, and that was a measure of success for me when people generally wanted to build it themselves. I then did the AT-TE, and it didn't hit even like 10,000 views. Now, at that point, I was like, this has flopped. I've wasted all this time doing this for no one to see it. But then, in hindsight, the achievement for me was building it in the first place. Because TikTok didn't push it on the algorithm compared to the other videos, now I can see, well, why was I getting so upset and hung up on it?
Yeah.
Whereas at the time I was like, I've wasted all that time. No one's seen it, blah, blah, blah. So in terms for measuring success on videos now, every video I post because I enjoy either the fact or I enjoy the content of the video. Yes, there's certain ones that I know will perform better than other ones, like the true or false video at the moment. The fact that you've got an interaction on the video, true or false, immediately is going to make it do slightly better because people interact with the video. Anything with a question will perform slightly better because you're asking people to then answer the question in the comments. The ones where it's more just a fact and it ends, if it's a really interesting fact that people didn't know it, awesome. That might do really well. But the fact itself, I find interesting, which is why I create the video. So if it gets 2,000-3,000 views, amazing. If it gets 1,000 views, amazing. Because I see other Lego TikTok accounts where, I mean, I've chatted with Joe on when we've done lives together, where it's like, oh, that video flopped, blah, blah, blah. And then someone else in the comments will be like that. What do you mean it flopped? It got 2,000 views. My videos don't even get 300, 400 views. But you just get hung up on the fact that this video before did this well. Why hasn't this one done the same? But then we've chatted on our lives before. I know when you've been live and I've been in the comments. TikTok is a very strange platform for measuring how well a video does because it's completely random. It could be the lighting that's changing it. It could be the time of day that's changing it. It could be just whoever's on the app at that time. It doesn't mean the video quality is bad or the video content is bad. It's just how the app is. It's like, if you want consistent views, post on YouTube. But then you've got to build that audience and do it all over again from scratch, which is why I'm not on YouTube. So, because I'm lazy. I can't be bothered with YouTube.
YouTube's a funny one. So, like, right now, this is all I'm doing on YouTube because I had a good 6-month run at it last year. And do you know what? I did really well. And I think what was somewhat annoying was for the monetization, I would have hit the requirements pre-COVID. Like I would have, I'm still now would have qualified for it. But
has it changed over the COVID time? I didn't realize.
So so it used to be 1,000 watched hours in a 12-month rolling period. It's now 4,000 watched hours. So 4,000 watched hours is 100% achievable. Like no doubt about it. But YouTube then has to be your primary platform focus, and I think that's the point. I think it's about they didn't want people spreading themselves too thin and just taking like a little bit from here, a little bit from there, a little bit there. The whole point is that you have to then be fully invested in YouTube, and their creators are people who are fully invested in YouTubers. And then by that point, they've probably gathered so much good momentum that the payouts start pretty early and they pay out well. But obviously that's what TikTok have seek to kind of undermine by coming in with the creator fund. But you know, it's pretty much
So
pennies a
at
day.
what point did you turn on your creator fund? Was it as soon as you could, or did you wait for a little bit with yours?
No, I turned it on as soon as I hit 10K, which was about a year ago. So I think it was about February last year. I hit 10K and I just turned it on straight away. And then like grew with it a little bit. And then yeah, got to about the summer and I was like, right, okay, time to switch focus to here. And then just realized how much effort it is to
it's such a different style of video as well, a YouTube video. It's that I follow, like, I'm sure a lot of people in the comments follow Just Too Good as well. Amazing YouTuber. He knows so much about Lego. And yet I watch his videos and thinking, you could easily be on TikTok if you just shorten them and just made them short, snappy videos. But he's got something like, he's got over 600,000 subscribers. So why would he then move over to TikTok when he's obviously doing so well on YouTube and his content works for him? Whereas I've tried posting the short in YouTube Shorts, just copy it from TikTok, nothing, absolutely nothing, because it's not YouTube content. It's meant for TikTok. Like
I have done some stuff. So my 1,500 subscribers on here is predominantly made up through shorts rather than transferring from TikTok. That's why I don't get 1,500 views. Like this will typically average around 150 to 200 views. Like depends on kind of who's on and how well it's promoted and shared and all that. So like, and that's probably give it a week, because I'm surprised by how many people come back and watch this. I always thought it'd be that thing where if people haven't watched it up front, they wouldn't tune in because like they enjoy the interaction piece, but people do watch it. But yeah, the what's interesting is though is that it's the same with Reels. There are a certain type of video does well, and it's the same here as well. It's just so weird that the same person would scroll on Shorts, but they'd watch it on TikTok, and then like they just got different attitudes on different things. But
so when I started on Instagram, Reels weren't a thing, so I was very much photo focused, like image focused. So then when I then started TikTok, all that sort of stuff, and then Reels then came into Instagram, I was like, well, I'll just post the same content over there. But the people following me from Instagram for any video content already watched them on TikTok. So it's like, well, there's no point in posting them twice. I mean, I think the biggest, or the most achieved post I've had recently on Instagram was Fit Chewy. So I posted a picture of Chewy's butt. Yeah. And it just skyrocketed. I got like 200 new followers from it. And I was like, it just makes no sense because it wasn't a reel. It was just a photo. And I was like, well, how can none of my other posts with the same hashtags posted at the same time of day? I mean, yeah, it was a Star Wars post, and all these comments were coming up saying, promote it on Star Wars lovers.
I think the video I posted, the picture I posted earlier on, you probably saw because you accepted.
Oh, there's like 7 people saying, promote it. So,
no, you tell me every week.
Yeah, no, I like it. And it's like, but back to your question about measuring success for it, how do you kind of measure your videos? Because it's like, because no one else in my family or direct friends outside of the TikTok world do TikTok, I'm very much learning by myself. And obviously I bounce ideas around, chat to you guys, but what's kind of your best practice and how do you know videos done well, apart from just high views?
It's a tough question, right? Because like the one thing I do is probably after about 2 or 3 days, I stop caring about a video. But sometimes if the video did relatively well in the first 24 hours, it has a mad resurgence like a week later and sometimes a month later. But at that point, I stop caring about it. Like I've stopped monitoring it. So I pretty much judge everything from the first 24 hours, but I judge everything really. Like I pretty much tell in the first hour how it's going to do. However, what pisses me off more than anything, so this is a really good example. It's very rare I have a video do this, but I think it was Friday or Thursday or Friday, I did a video, and in the first hour, it did 12,000 views. and I was like, oh shit. And I was just like, whoa, like that doesn't happen to me. So I was like, okay, like even if it settles down now and starts doing like 1,000 views an hour, like that's given a hell of a base. It just stopped.
Yeah,
it just stopped. Yeah, and I was like, but what? Like, how did it then get 12,000 views? Like, that's what I question. But I quite often will get a video that will do 2,000 or 3,000 views in the first hour, and then can flatline and does very little. But as I see, I stop watching it after the first 24 hours.
Yeah.
But yeah, I typically, like, my minimum criteria is 1,000 views in the first 24 hours. Like that's my like scraping the barrel level. But ideally, I wanted to hit that 1,000 views in the first hour, which it will 99 times out of 100 will do. Then I kind of watch it for the rest of the day, and then I try to, because what you'll notice is the more views you get, the likes, the ratio of likes drops dramatically. So I typically find in the first couple of hours, I get about 20% likes to views, but then as it goes past that, it starts to drop towards like the 10%. But again, like kind of like 10% is like, I see that as like a pretty, especially as the more views it gets. If it holds steady at around 10-15%, that's pretty good. I don't like, I definitely don't go in and like, these are things more that I notice rather than things that I monitor. But yeah, I just like look at things like that and just keep an eye on it. But then, as I say, there'll be sometimes like I'll notice a video seems to be getting loads of likes and comments again. I'm like, why is that doing that? And then you like click on it, and it seems to have got like 100,000 views like a month after it was posted. I was like, oh, didn't realize that. So, but then if you've ever posted somewhat regularly on Reels, it's a whole other thing. Like, it's the same video. It could even be the same people, but it's just a whole other science. Like, Reels, like Reels has like its peak in the first like an hour or 2 hours, then dies. It's just like, we're done. And then about a week to 10
not enough people liked it.
But yeah, but then a week to 10 days later, it's like, all right, we'll have another go. And then all of a sudden it's like, boom. Like, my best success, if you judge my peaks, I've never had 1 million views TikTok. But with the same videos, I've had 3 or 4 million view reels with less videos as well. So I've put like, and with a smaller following. So yeah, it's a weird space. And then like I talk to people about this, and it's like, when you talk about following on TikTok, because it's so much easier to hit that button, right? TikTok is made to make you hit that follow button and follow that person. That's what they want. So it's so easy to do it. But what I would say then is the value of that follow is less than Instagram and YouTube. I would say that. Like,
almost irrelevant. And it's like you see people with like millions of followers, but then you kind of think, well, how many of them are actually active on your account and seeing your videos? Because if you spend all the time on the FYP, that is there to promote accounts that you don't follow, or videos from accounts that you do follow that are doing very, very well, which is why it goes on the For You page. Whereas like if you're on the following page, of course you're going to see the content of people you actually follow, but personally, I don't spend any time on the following page unless I want to see what a particular person's been up to. But then I'll just search for their account rather than scrolling through following.
The only time I ever end up on the following page is sometimes when you post a video, sometimes
you end up
switches you over, and I don't realize until I think, why am I just seeing like the same people over and over again?
I've seen so much Lego today. This is amazing.
But yeah, that's the only time I ever really end up on there. Other than if the FYP is just boring, and then I'll be like, well, I'll have a quick look. But yeah,
because it's then for me, it's in waves of who I then see on my For You page. Like because we've been interacting a lot recently, you're on my FYP every day. Joe, absolutely, it's absolute treat when you pop up, especially in your little jeggings. Oh, that video made me laugh.
I've already done that once.
Yeah, but I just keep rewatching it. That's why the views are so high. It's just me. Joe pops up all the time, so the Star Wars guys, he's always on there. Brixon, he's there all the time now. Preston Builds, his account is growing so quickly. He's like the master of TikTok sounds. They're making it relevant to Lego. Because I used to follow him. Well, I still follow him, but Instagram is how I found him originally. Like he used to do like weekly Lego with his family, and now he's like, I think he's on like 80,000 followers, and it's like, because he uses viral sounds and makes it relevant to him. So people are like, this is clever, good.
Do you know? I'm convinced sometimes as well. He doesn't even use viral sounds. Sometimes he'll just like think of a song with I think he makes some sounds viral. Like, he just thinks of like lyrics, and then he's like, I can do this. Because half of the time I see what's interesting. This is where TikTok gets really interesting, though. But like, I will see him using sounds that I've never seen anybody else use. But then, like, my missus is on TikTok. She doesn't post anything. But she'll be like, oh, have you seen this video? Have you seen this person? Have you seen this? And I'm like, nope. Never ever seen them before. And she'll be like, have you seen that trend? Have you seen this? Have you seen it? And I'm like, definitely not. But like, everybody can have a very different experience. So if you're watching other stuff, you're being exposed to other stuff. So I follow now a couple of people who I literally have no like interest in realistically. But I follow them because what they do is quite often is use like trending sounds. So they're just my means of finding it. Finding sounds. So it's
I found recently like a lot of the trending sounds have swear words in them, or they're of a sexual nature, or the stuff like that. And I think because I've given myself that rule of I need to be kid friendly and I need to be family friendly content, because I technically work for Lego, so I can't be posting anything Lego based that's going to be offensive. I think the borderline was when I did the 420 video about the leaf piece, but I never once said it's weed or marijuana. But I insinuated it a lot. It got like 400,000 views. It did really, really well, and people were like, "You can't be saying stuff like this. Don't you work for Lego?" It's like, I'm not saying anything. I'm insinuating it. But then a lot of them, like the trending sounds, have like F-bombs in them, and it's like, I don't think there's going to be, nothing will happen if I use those sounds. But PG-13, hey Rolo, love you. Rolo's last video, when I did the minifigure version of him, he's done one on Rolo 33 saying, I got his voice right, and it's really humble. And I was like, oh, he's really sweet. Slightly, like, always angry, but very sweet. So it's like, I find that I don't often use, I tend to use the same song over and over again. It's Blue Blood from Always Sunny in Philadelphia. There's a cooking song, which is like ding, 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 ding. So it's just like bouncy. And then every now and again, I'll use the Day of the Dead music, because it's like, or the SpongeBob song. That is a really good one. Like all those, like, because I tried ones with like Into the Thick of It when that was trending, and it wasn't relevant to anything that I was creating at the time. So, but yeah, I was just checking the comments at the moment. I think Brick Pursuit said it was like interesting to see the TikTokers' thought process, and people don't talk about it on TikTok. And I think because they're worried, because TikTok itself monitors videos. Like every time I mention Opie-Verse, it kills the video. Every time I mention the word link, because I'm doing the giveaway at the moment, Game Bricks, they're always flopping because you use the word link and it thinks it's trying to take you to another site away from TikTok. So it's like we purposely don't talk about how to grow on TikTok or how to create videos, because TikTok will just kill it, and they'll be like, no, we don't like you talking about it, just make more content. And it's like, okay. So this is really nice to chat about it.
It is, and like, this is why I don't do videos for the Opie-Verse anymore. This is why I go live for the hour before, but obviously that's what TikTok wants, right? TikTok's whole thing is they want you to go live. They're not really bothered about videos. They want people live because they want people donating to those lives, and they're creaming off the top. So, yeah, it's yeah, it sucks. And I think that was a big part of me wanting to kind of think, like, let's get out of this space. One thing I've never really done is use like Instagram Live yet. I think I've done one
Yeah,
live on
no,
there. So, but then talk about people like Preston Bills, like that's where he's started to do more TikTok stuff, TikTok Live
yeah,
builds, but he did a lot of Instagram builds. So I'd be interested to speak to him because he was really
yeah.
well established over there. So I do want to get him on here, but really to talk about like the difference between the two. And he has such a big collection and such a great setup that I don't know if he has a YouTube channel or if it like at any significant.
He probably does, but I've not seen anything actively posted on there. So I think we all have a YouTube because it kind of, or why not, just in case. Yeah. But it's like, yeah, I think everyone has their particular platform that they work on. It's like, so like I've got a Discord. I don't know how Discord works. I've got one. People chatting it. And it's like, okay, cool. I don't know what its purpose is.
I have like, honestly, this time last year, so I have a Discord and I keep meaning to close it down, but actually every time I go back into it, it's been really active. So I'm like, all right, okay.
But you're not, but people are chatting about behind your back.
But this is the thing, like this time last year, it was so busy. Like there was just, but I think that was true of everything. There was so many more people.
Had time on their hands. They had nothing else to do.
But the Discord, the way it's set up is that like we had like ranks that were against like ranks of a Jedi. So you started as a youngling, you hit this level, you become a Padawan, then you become a Jedi Knight, then a master, and then like it's like me as like Grandmaster, and then like, but there are different rooms. There are like chats that unlock as you go through, so like you can speak to people at your level and all that.
Yeah.
So I loved all that, but it just kind of died a death a little bit.
Yeah.
But then a lot of people, like, I don't really know a lot about Discord. I found out about Discord by being a
quite teen heavy. I've noticed it's teenage.
Well, I thought that, but then my missus said to me, she was like, "If you this was about this time last year, maybe a little bit later." She was like, "Have you got a Discord?" I was like, "I have actually. It's just like a chat room there. Loads of people come in and like they join and all that." And then she was like, "Oh, have you seen this story about basically like blokes are using it to like trade like nudes with girls like away from?" I was like, I am definitely not doing like that's the last thing that's going on in my Discord server. We're like sharing like pictures of Lego like mocks and stuff like that, and like talking about like leaks and rumors and this and all that. But yeah, it was just like I was like,
you know what Lego bricks you're sharing?
Yeah, indeed.
Yeah. So I did have a question. One thing we've talked a lot about TikTok. I did have a question because I kind of always interested to know from other TikTokers. Is there a particular series that you've posted that you have been like, not ashamed? Ashamed is the wrong word, but you posted a series of videos because it was having an effect. I don't know what I'm trying to ask. Like, are there videos on your channel that you're not particularly proud of, but they performed particularly well, so you left them on
there? Nothing springs to mind. I definitely wouldn't use the word ashamed.
No, I think that was the wrong word.
Yeah, no, I know what you mean, but I think for me, there's more stuff that I hadn't really set out to do, and the stuff that I've kind of done for the likes and stuff a bit more.
Yeah.
Just seen Joe's comment there. Yeah, but like I love that video.
Green chicken.
Absolutely.
I love that green chicken.
But yeah, I wouldn't necessarily see. There is, I mean, as I see it, quite quickly forget about stuff. So I just kind of like move on. But
yeah,
I do think more the way I would probably answer that question in a sentence would be, I came to realize probably as the turn of the year, because as we came out of Christmas and came into this year, I made the decision to switch back heavily to TikTok. Kind of just and this was on the back of a conversation with Matt Mellish, and I always challenge Matt to be like, Matt, like you've got 8,000 subscribers on YouTube, but you're not doing anything with it. Like I just couldn't wrap my head around it. And his whole point was, if I keep pushing TikTok, TikTok becomes my shop window, and then at the right time, it becomes the shop window for YouTube. And then I hit that 4,000 watched hours very quick. And I've gathered great momentum. And I was like, do you know what? That's a really good way of looking at it.
Yeah.
So I thought, like, look, at the time I was on like 50,000 followers over Christmas. So I was like, do you know what? That's a hell of a point, Matt. And, you know, if I hadn't switched my focus and I'd kind of gone down to, I think this would be the answer to the question. I dialed myself down to one video a day on TikTok, probably from about July, August last year through till the kind of Christmas, New Year. And a lot of them videos, because I wasn't actively thinking about my content, there was some good stuff in there, but there was kind of a lot of filler in there. And it's that I look back on. Whereas when I kicked through the gears again early this year and thought, right, back to at least 2 videos a day, ideally 3 or 4, even 5 when I feel. And I've done a couple of days where I've done 5. Yeah. And then we're not quite 2 months into the year, and I've added 15,000 followers just from, and I haven't particularly gone live a lot, but just from being active and just putting my focus into this. So then I think, you know, if I hadn't switched away, I probably would have been on about 100,000 followers by like Christmas, and that would have put me in a far better position. But we live and learn in that. I'm my job is very data analytical, like business analyst and all that. So, I'm that, and I think that's sometimes with this side of things, that's where the problems come in, because I'm overly analytical. And you speak to someone like Rolo, who's like, don't fucking forget about the numbers, just post. But I think there's a fine balance. I think there's something in between, because sometimes Rolo gives me anxiety, because he'll just post a video at like 3 o'clock in the morning, and like, Rolo, like, nobody's awake. At least they understand how it works. But like, at the same time, I take a leaf out of his book, because what I would do is I'd record a video at like 2:30, and then I'd wait until 3:15 to post it. But I'd be sat there like watching the clock, waiting sure I hadn't missed my shot. And I'm just thinking, like, 45 minutes realistically is not going to make a difference. So like, there's that sense of it. It's like, if I feel motivated, if I feel positive about something, you know, I'm live, just get it out there, get it. And you know, that has worked well for me, especially when you're posting 3 or 4 videos a day, because you've got more. Like, what I've then found is, like, at least one of my videos that day will clear 10,000. So when you talk about success, when I hit 10K views on a video, that for me is like, that is a good video. That's done well. So that is a success for me.
Will you then post another video after that? So once you've hit the 10K, do you feel you need to then, because I've read online that TikTok tops up videos that are doing well if you post again afterwards, rather than leaving it a day to then post again. It's like, because I'm guilty for like, well, that one's doing well, why should I why post another video? Keep it for the day, sort of thing. Do you do the same?
Depends on the video. So sometimes I'm like, I'm sure you get to see him, like, you talk about your series that you've made there, like making Lego TikTokers. Like, I sometimes like make a video and I'm like, right, I'll make that for tomorrow, and then I'll sit down and be like,
post.
Yeah, the world needs to see this now. And do you know, this is where then like the stats measure of success becomes a very different thing, because like, if my expectations are like, I love this video, then like, I hope that everybody else loves it and it does really well. Yeah. But then sometimes it doesn't, and I'm like, oh. But then at the same time, I watch it and I'm like, do you know what? I fucking like it, so I don't care.
Yeah, I like it.
Because so, prime example of this, right? One of my greatest ever videos, so like numerically, is my Carl Pilkington in Primark. Like, I really hate it here. Like, nah, fuck this, I'm off, sort of thing. And it's basically him in a hotel from An Idiot Abroad when he's in India.
Yeah, love that series.
But it's me walking around Primark doing that to that sound. Did brilliant, absolutely loved it. But obviously what it touches on is Primark. So, and pretty much every bloke who has a girlfriend,
they relate to it.
Yeah, because we all get dragged to Primark. And it's different. Like, I will go to Primark not that often, but I might pop in on my own. But it's a very different experience when you've got control of going in and going out. So then I did a video the other day.
Is that pinned on your profile, that one? Or can you tag me in? I don't think I've not seen that one.
Have you not seen it? I'll send it to you, but I don't have anything pinned anymore. Thank you, Rollo. But I did a video the other day whereby, so it was last week. So it was using the Rick and Morty sound.
Okay.
So
let me tell you how this is gonna work. You're gonna tell me shit. Listen, suck my shut up. Listen.
Yeah, I saw that one.
So that one, and I thought like Rick and Morty, Primark, husband and wife. It's nailed on. It done 3,000 views.
Yeah.
And I was like,
no reason why it wouldn't. Yeah.
But I absolutely loved it. But this is again the thing, on Reels, it's done double that, and it's probably about to hit that kind of second birth thing. So it's just crazy. Like there's no thing of it. But
it's like, I've definitely got like lazy content. I said earlier, I'm proud of all the videos that I do. That take over Pinterest salt, because yes, I like creating them. Mm-hmm. Are they as creative as they could be? Are they as intellectual? No. I did that whole series of Lego Knockout, and that was when I was really scraping the barrel for ideas. It's like, right, let's do this theme versus this theme, which is better? And it was very much, it got so much interaction. It's still going now. I still get notifications of people voting for these themes, and it's like, well, that's long finished, that series. I'm not taking them down because they are still getting views and still getting interaction. But it's like really, I should put them into my private videos, because we've announced the winner. It was Star Wars. It was always going to be Star Wars, and I knew that. But I thought, well, let's get a couple of weeks of content, which is really easy to make. But then, I just left it on there because, it still brings people onto the account.
Well,
like,
so again, this is like another thing, right? So like as I see it, probably give it a couple of days, depends on the video, but probably certainly after a week, I just give up caring about a video. But I've done I did a video about a month ago where somebody had asked to see all my Mandalorians. And so I went through like all of my Mandalorian minifigs. But I'd said, before we even do that, let's do an honorary shout out. And I just went to Boba Fett, and went through all of my Boba Fetts. And I was like, who is not a Mandalorian? And whilst some of you type furiously in the comments, I will
trigger people.
And like people still comment on that video today, like for a month, 6 weeks later, like, but Boba Fett is a Mandalorian, and I'm like, I can't be bothered to argue with you anymore.
I know.
Like,
it just you saw my Jurassic Park video about the DNA and the toad. So I got his name wrong. So it's Ray Arnold, but I said John Hammond. And John Hammond is obviously Richard Attenborough's character. But in the book, he's called John Arnold. So what I meant to say was John Arnold, but I said John Hammond, didn't notice, posted it. And then that video's on I think it's on 70K now. And it's like, and I've even put in the comments, look, I know I fucked up. I got the wrong name. I pinned it. Stop commenting that I pinned the wrong name. And now, still today, like the other day, someone stitched it and said, "Oh, you got the name wrong." It's like, yeah, I know I did. The comment says at the top, I know it's wrong. But it's like, I'm not going to take it down because people are still seeing my account and I'm still getting views for it. So, cheers.
By the way, the whole vibe I got from you there was like Will from the In-Betweeners. Like, that was the whole vibe I got there. So
briefcase wanker.
Just you know when he does like the monologues where it's not him, you don't see him, it's like him talking. Like the best thing I did that all day was like throwing a frisbee off a disabled girl. But no, I totally like I get that, but at the same time, I always do think some of my videos that I've done best over time is when there are errors in them. So I do play around. There was a time when I used to do. But I do like deliberate errors. But every now and then, like, so when we talk about a lazy video, I know a video is lazy, right? But I'll kind of think, but if I put the lightsaber hilt the wrong way around,
people will react.
People will react and be like, but then people, because you don't want to do that on a video that you want people to engage with, pay attention to, where there's actually a point there. But if it's a bit of a lazy video, just turn a lightsaber hilt the wrong way, or if you're using an R2 fig, he's got like the lens on the front and the back, but the back is like all he has, turn it on the wrong way, and then people are like,
just to trigger
R2's
people.
Heads. Yeah,
it's like, and I get it, and I've got some videos in the drafts that are purposely stupid because those type of videos do well. They're not intentional, they're not wrong, but they're very ridiculous. So you may have seen I did a whole series of like Easter eggs in like Lego sets and in the film and stuff like that. So I've got one that I'm going to record, which is basically, did you know that in the Lego movie, everything looks like it's made out of Lego? This is a reference to the title of the film, the Lego Movie. Stuff like that. They're really just pointless videos, but they make me laugh. And it's like, talking about making mistakes, the one that I did recently that, again, people keep commenting on saying, you've got it wrong. The one about the micro figures. Now, I said that the last time we saw the micro figures was in the Hogwarts set. Now, when I posted that, I thought, yeah, of course that's the right answer. No, there's been so many more sets since that one. Like the Bro Thor's set, that's one. The calendar, and everyone just wanted us to say, you're wrong, you're an idiot. This was not the first time we saw this micro figure either. And I just kept making reaction videos to almost every comment saying that I was wrong, saying, yeah, I know I'm wrong, well done, you're right. Because they also got interactions saying, yeah, totally. And it's like, I don't care. It's only Lego.
I love it sometimes. I do love the I love how like energized some people get about it.
I like Rolo's comment.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna tag Rolo in it. Make it dedicated to Rolo.
You should. Indeed.
Rolo told me to make this.
Absolutely. So thinking like for you moving forward, because I know you're planning the trip that never happened basically, and you're heading off to Asia. All things going well, but hopefully we're past the things that stop us from doing things.
Yeah.
So that's kind of the plan for you. When are you jetting off? Do you have?
Hopefully November. So we're going to work for another school season at least.
Yeah.
Use the summer to go back to the UK. My sister's getting married, so we'll be in the UK for summer again, and then we'll come back for the first couple of months, so like September, October, to kind of get the ball rolling with the Lego stuff again, and then go. But it's not going to be the big 6-month trip that we intended. It's going to maybe like 2 or 3 over Christmas, and potentially be in the Maldives for Christmas. That's kind of the plan. But in terms of like the TikTok and stuff like that, because I don't use Lego, I'm probably one of the only Lego TikTokers. Yeah, because I'm a Lego TikToker that doesn't really have Lego with them.
Yeah.
And I cheat the system, and I use Google and Bricklink, and people think I'm this all-knowing person, whereas Rebrickable is my friend, and I just find out stuff. I can do that whilst traveling. I'm not like limited to a space, like, because I don't use Lego sets for content. I just use knowledge, and that's quite easy to then film when you're out and about, especially because I use green screen all the time.
I think this is why you and Rolo get on so well, isn't it?
Just know it all, basically. The best. Got it sorted. So yeah, no. In terms for like going forward with the account, I think I just love how simple TikTok is, because you can record a video. For me, it takes a little bit longer because I've got a bit of a stutter. So when I'm doing videos, it does take me a couple of takes. Like I've been sat on a video for half an hour, and then Ellie will come into the room and say, "Will you just stop for a second, we'll get some fresh air and come back to it later because you will do my editing." Because I just keep saying it the same way over and over again, but getting a word wrong. And I'm sure other creators have this issue where you just can't get your word right. Like, you know what you want to say, you know exactly how you want it to say, but your mouth goes no, and it's like, great.
I will say your wife sounds a lot more forgiving than mine. So that wall there is the other side of that is my wife's office.
Right.
So if I do if I've got like a bit of spare time during the day, I always try and post the video around 3 o'clock for like kids getting out of school and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like adults taking that afternoon trip to the bathroom when they're at work to like break up the afternoon. And all
Yeah. Getting paid to poop. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So whether it's at lunchtime or just like a bit of a break where I'm all right, I'll sit and do a video. But there are times when I can't, as exactly you see, I'm like, especially when I do like the eBay stuff, because it's very like, I'm trying to say a very specific thing. And I'll be like, oh, fuck, and constantly like retry. And the amount of times I'll just hear her through that wall, be like, oh, for fuck's sake, man. No, like, just be like, and
just
you're like, yeah, will you get it right?
Yeah.
But
Ellie's great with it all because she knows for me it's something that keeps me engaged. It's something that's creative. Yeah. And I'm very fortunate that it's something that pays as well. So it's not a salary, but it's a bit of pocket money through the creator fund, through the TikTok lives, and then obviously being able to work with Game of Bricks that I know you do stuff with as well. Just really fortunate to kind of have the connections and have the following that I do. And she understands that it's something that I would never have had the opportunity to do otherwise. So she was like, whilst you can, just go for it. Just do it a bit quieter in the mornings because I'm trying to sleep.
So speaking of him, earlier.
Oh, there he is. Hey, JB.
So JB Bricks' videos, correct me if I'm wrong, JB, your videos are typically 30 seconds long, like every one. But yeah, this is exactly the right. Use the 3-minute recording function, because once upon a time you could like if you chose like 15 seconds or a minute and then you're like, shit, I've run out of time, you could change to the like a different recording time, but you can't do that anymore. So always start with a 3 minutes and then edit it down. But I always find when I've got 3 minutes, I say too much, and then I'm like, shit, I want to do a 30-second video, and I've got 2 minutes worth of footage here and edit it back. But it is a great tip, and it is a great way of doing that. Also, hey JB, so yeah, 20 all over the place. 20 the tip round. Yeah, I mean that doesn't surprise me at all. If you ever have a conversation with JB offline, it is like he is to the nth degree. And when JB comes on, because we will get him on, he just needs to do his face reveal. I'm really keen to have the conversation that we have in the background, because he is like super analytical, and kind of everything is a science in that way. So Rolo, you've got first question, but I'm opening up the Q&A to everyone here. So start firing your questions through both to me and Jamie, but just because it's the kind of the first one, I'm just going to replay for anybody who's missed it. I'm going to replay the opening title sequence we have now, just so everybody gets a chance to see it. Then we'll come back and start the Q&A again, starting with this one from Rolo. So here we go.
Shit. Did I leave the stove on?
So cool. Is it the Donkey Kong font at the end?
I don't know.
It looks the font looks really recognizable, and I think it might be Donkey Kong. But I'm not sure.
If that is right, what a shout that is. I will ask the question.
Yeah, because I won't sleep tonight until I know the answer.
Okay. I can't promise I'll get you the answer tonight, but I'll certainly ask. So, Jamie, you touched on this earlier, but you went to uni, Hull Uni, but in Scarborough, yeah?
Yeah. And I studied theatre and performance, and it was all about how to be a performer, directing, lighting, stage design, costumes, all that sort of stuff. And I graduated with a 2-1 in the end. I was too lazy to get first. That required a lot more work and effort, whereas I was more into socialising, my theatre stuff outside of university. So I kind of just, I got through with a 2-1. So yeah, Scarborough, good old Scarbs.
How do you feel the uni experience and your course has both helped you in what you do, because it does sound from the story you told earlier about how you ended up getting the job working at Legoland, which has ultimately set you on the path to where you are now. How much does it, one, help you with that? And then how does it help you with the kind of the social media TikTok stuff as well?
Yeah, great question. Two things. If I didn't go to that university, I would have never met Ellie. So I would never have met my wife. So I'm really, really grateful for that. And then number two, if I hadn't have done the course, I would have never have done the volunteering that I started doing at the theatre, which is where I would never have found my passion for education and teaching through a fun and playful environment, which is then kind of what led me to Legoland and Lego and learning through play and Lego education, all that sort of stuff. So I would never, because it's such a small campus, I would never been given the opportunity to do as much as I did if it was like a city university, because there would have not been that kind of path for me to go down so easily. I would have had to fight for it a lot harder. Whereas being in a small town was like opportunities were thrown at me and I just said yes to all of them. So yeah, that's I would not be where I was today if I didn't go not only to uni but also to Scarborough. So yeah.
Nice. Before I answer that question, do you want to take this opportunity to comment on Rollo's grammar here? Or?
Yeah, did Hughes go uni? I mean, he's doing it on purpose because
it definitely is, isn't he?
You know, it's my favourite thing.
He wouldn't have done that, would he?
It's interesting that he's also using his 32 account, not his 33, which I'm still confused about on TikTok.
Well, we're on YouTube, so he only has the one YouTube account.
Got ya.
But he should change it. He should indeed. But to answer that question, no, I didn't. So I left school at 16. I went to work down pit. No, I didn't. So I went to work in a factory and did an apprenticeship in electronics. But all I ever wanted to do was be an electrician. So then at 19, after finishing one apprenticeship, I got another job as another apprenticeship as an electrician. And then the week I finished that apprenticeship, being all I ever wanted to do, the company I worked for went into liquidation, and essentially I was made redundant. And it was like 2008, so it was height of the recession, and like there were I picked up little bits here and there, but at the same time, there were people who had 20 years experience who were asking for the same pay that I would be asking for. And it was just like, because of the way that it's regulated through the unions, like there was a minimum pay allowance and everybody was getting that. So I just couldn't compete. Ended up working, like starting in banking, just like on the phones, just to do something. And then from there, worked my way up and been in there for 12 years and do like a projecty management type job now. So but actually I would never go back to what I did. So it's a nice skill set to have. I miss the crack from like sites and stuff. It was always good crack, but no, I wouldn't it was too much like hard work. I just get to sit here all day and like do a bit of this. So no, I did not go to uni, Rollo. I did not. Just skimming through some other questions here. But
I'll just have a look in the chat box, yeah.
Who's hotter? I mean, I knew he would say this, but I mean, Jar Jar's got the legs, but there's some big feet.
But Watto's got the money. So
Watto's got the money. Yeah, indeed. Jamie, would you rather be staying for me or Michael from Vsauce?
Oh, you every day. At least he's not American, so
nice. I do want to answer that. I know you covered it off, but JB wasn't here, so do you want to just give a...
Yeah, so as well, alongside TikTok and my podcasts and stuff like that, I work with Lego Education. So I work for a company that sells Lego Education sets direct to schools. It is then my job to then go to the school and train them how to use the Lego set in their classroom to help their students to learn. So I literally did one the other day, which was all about social and emotional learning with Duplo bricks, with characters and little like building stories and building Duplo characters that got faces on them, so you recognize their emotions. That's the early learning. I then do robotics, which is kind of where you've probably seen my Star Wars robotics, or like the builds that I do where things move and it's all interactive. That is a Lego Education set, which I then teach teachers how to use for them to then use in the classroom to help their students with robotics, engineering, computing, programming, all that sort of stuff. And that's through the Lego Education Academy, which is I got a lot of my Lego from the staff store in Denmark, which was obviously in Billund, and it's a big fat discount, which was great. And you're not allowed to film in there. You can't take pictures. You can't say what's in there because it's all very very top secret in Lego. So you probably, if you've seen the documentary with the blinds that open and close on the actual building, that is all true. That wasn't for TV. Like, we were walking around and you'd see them quickly shut the blinds because they're working on a new project. Even though we were working with Lego, you can't then disclose what it is. We went into the factory. You can't take any pictures inside the factory because they've got bricks and colors that they were making for future sets. So when I was there, I can say it now, but they were making Lego elves at the time. So it was all these new translucent bricks, all these sparkly colors that you just couldn't talk about, or even like what they call factory seconds. So any bricks that aren't correct or anything that have like leaked colors, they just go straight back into the incinerator now, whereas before they would go out and actually sell them, whereas now they're not allowed to do that at all because people make a shit ton of money from it. So yeah, that's my job. That's what I kind of do.
Nice, thank you. We didn't cover it off in that level of detail, so that was handy to have as well. Ultron Gamer. So first of all, hello. However, I was wondering, very polite. However, I was wondering.
He's Ultron Gamer. He's lovely. I play Fortnite with him.
Yes.
Cool.
When you make your TikToks, what audience is it directed at?
Do you want to go first?
Yeah, I mean, I don't particularly aim it at anyone, because I do think, and I'm under no illusions, when you do anything that's a little bit more adult, like without being blatant. So, like, for example, I downloaded the wrong Star Wars movie. Like,
we're getting his cock out. It was so good.
The original, honestly, like, if I ever just need a laugh through the day, that's that. But the original sound is brilliant. Like, the original sound of the guy, I think he's watching someone play like darts or something. He's got no business doing it. But honestly,
it's your
so
face
funny.
actually watching it like that.
Yeah, honestly, I so enjoyed doing that one, and that one hit like 1.3 million views on Reels, which I love. But yeah, I think what's always interesting, if you do something a little bit more adult, if you're doing it like for the adults, yes, the adults will engage with it, but like, kids are not stupid, especially these days. So like 13, 14-year-olds, they know what's going on, and they think it's funny. Like, let's be honest, Astrid Wet, who is like the whole Cal the Dragon, Simple Simon. I don't know if you keep up, like, because my wife
saw that on someone's video. I had no idea what was going on.
If you follow any of that, her whole thing is like a specific market, which is weird, because she kind of interacts through Cal the Dragon and all that. But yeah, it's just like, I'm under no illusions that, people know, like, kids are not daft and all that. So I don't particularly target. I don't want to make that my whole content. So I know I'm conscious of doing that. But every now and then, throw one out and just have a bit of laugh with it. Yeah. That's kind of the approach I take. Take that. And do you know, sometimes, a bit to your point, I almost make every now and then I make myself my target audience. And I would say that the vast majority of what I do, I'm not my target audience. But I try to make every now and then do it. But funnily enough, it's always the ones that do really well. But I probably haven't got 3 videos worth a day, 7 days a week worth of content to target myself. So yeah, that would be hard work. What about you?
Yeah. So yeah, I think mine's very much mentioned it. It's like, it's family friendly, but then certain videos are obviously more, they're not adult focused, but they're definitely more of like an older generation style of humor, like more Monty Python-esque, very silly, stupid humor, or like a word play or an insinuation of something, like with the marijuana leaf, with the 420 video, and it was one of Rolo's favorite series. He made a video saying how much he loved the whole concept of me just using Bricklink to make Lego videos. And then like with the TikToker minifigure videos now, it's very much I'm doing it because I always do it when it's a friend. I don't do it on a random. I mean, I know I ask people, say in the comments, let me know what you want me to do next, but I won't do it unless I know them because I never want to offend anyone. It's I removed a video. When I was in the UK, I did a video very similar to JB Bricks, which was here's how to make a custom Lego, and I did the Burger King. Now, I removed it within like an hour because even though it made me laugh, in hindsight, it was a tad offensive. And I'll tell you what I'll share it. It was basically
I saw that video.
Yeah, so a few people did. So it was the Royal King, and then I took off the big beard and then said, here's how to make it. Take the beard off and then give him. And then it was the big fat white cat saying diabetes. And I was like, that's hilarious. Because it's poking fun at the fast food industry for using this character, and then diabetes. It's a cat saying diabetes. It's great. My comments were then flooded with saying like, I have diabetes, but I have diabetes. And it's like, have I just offended the entire diabetes community by making this one joke? So I was like, I'm not gonna like respond to anyone. Because otherwise I'd be just there all day, be like saying like, "Oh, I'm really sorry, but this isn't taking the mick out of you." It's like, I was like, so I didn't delete it. I just put it into my only me folder.
Yeah.
So I am cautious with the jokes that I make like that because even though it makes me laugh, it is slightly darker. But then I need to be mindful of who my audience are and who I might offend because let's face it, everyone can be offended by something. Nowadays, it's that, and people are very vocal on social media because they're behind a screen. They'll just put a comment out and they'll be like, well, I've said it now, job done. It's like someone commented on my ATTE walker, the one that does this, and someone put, so it doesn't look very good. And I just commented back, well, at least you're honest. And I was like, then everyone in the comments was like, then don't listen to him, it looks amazing, blah, 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 blah. But I was like, yeah, but he's entitled to his opinion. Like, if he doesn't think it looks good, it's fine. But I don't ever post things like, I completely avoid Star Wars trivia and lore and canon stuff because I don't know enough about it. And I would stumble over something and then I would never hear the end of it. So even though I make Star Wars robots and I like Star Wars, I don't post anything Star Wars because unlike yourself and like other people that are probably watching at the moment, I just don't know it enough. So I avoid Star Wars content, even though Lego Star Wars is probably one of the bigger Lego niches on the app. So I do Lord of the Rings, a bit of Harry Potter, and then just general Lego. And then what I find is you talk about old Lego, you get an older audience. You talk about Ninjago and Lego Movie, you get a younger audience. Clutch Powers, you mentioned the word Clutch Powers, holy hell, your comments explode. Because people are like, oh, I have Clutch Powers. I used to watch this all the time when I was a kid. So if you want some easy content, just Clutch Powers that's where it's at, apparently. So
yeah, it's on the Star Wars thing. I almost started as a Star Wars TikToker, like because I saw people like Darth Choco, Jedi Connor. And I really love what they do, but I just didn't know enough. And it was like, and I saw like, you know, they were very early in the process. And I was like, yeah, I'm not, I saw their comments and how people were interacting with them. I was like, I am not going down that road, especially not being used to like doing social media. And then doing the Lego stuff and obviously doing Lego Star Wars, there's a point where the lore starts to kind of fall over, especially like things like which figures have you got and use that as a way. But now, like over that last 2 years, I've really like sharpened up my lore knowledge, especially in the canon space, read quite a bit, like watched quite a bit. So yeah, I feel more confident, but at the same time, I very much class myself as a Lego Star Wars TikToker. And every now and then I'll just pop my head out, like drop a couple of comments or drop a video or two and then like disappear back in. But yeah, it's Star Wars is a weird space. Like Star Wars TikTok is a weird space.
There's a lot of thirst traps as well. So I know it's like there's I can't remember the name of the ladies that post now, but it's like Darth Vader's wife and like the Sith.
Oh yeah, Vader's.
stuff.
Yeah, Femren, Chloe, Vader's wife. You know, that's happened for so long. You know, Slayas, who's probably one of the biggest ones. Maria Skywalker. There's loads. Like there's plenty of them now.
And it's like, and I always think it's like, who are they posting for? Is it for the dads? Is it for an older market, or dirty boy, or is it for teens? And is it just their way of getting their kicks out on a non-adult website? And it's like, oh, okay.
Well, yeah. It's I always like. There are some that then obviously push towards like OnlyFans and things like that, and that's quite blatant. But I always kind of appreciate those who are able to do the whole thirst trap cosplaying thing without it being about that as well. So that they're not trying to, you know, that is the be all and end all of what they do, and have still made a success of it. That's almost harder to do. You know, when it is that just kind of like taste of that little extra spicy thing. Yeah. It's easier to kind of drop that, but yeah.
But no, like we all know Bricks and Bimbos. We know she does it ironically as well as she does get something from it as well. But then the whole like thing where everyone's like on about the Amazon wishlist thing. I know you did your video, and that Padawan Archer when John was in the bra.
Both of them, yeah.
Oh, it was so funny.
Yeah.
But then I know Bricks and Bimbos can take the joke, and then I made the minifigure joking about it as well, and it's like. She knows what she's doing. It's not like, it's never malicious. It's like, it gets a result by the end of the day, and why not? And it's like, and if you can make it funny, if you enjoy posting it, then crack on, you do you.
Absolutely. And that's the thing with Ellie, like, she has British blood pumping through her veins, like, and that when it comes to her sense of humor, she 100% has a British sense of humor. I will not have any Americancy otherwise. Do you have arachibutyrophobia, which is apparently the fear of having peanut butter stuck to the roof of your mouth?
No, if anything, I like that because it means it lasts longer.
Exactly. No, I'm all for that one.
Yeah.
So this is a good one for Brick Pursuit, particularly to you. So Jamie, it's always great to hear how passionate you are with the whole learning and family friendly side of Lego TikTok. But do you ever see yourself moving on from that aspect of Lego social media? I think what Brick Pursuit is saying is, Jamie, are you setting up an OnlyFans at any point?
Yes, and you'll be my first subscriber. I think in terms for the Lego stuff, Lego for me, I'm asked all the time, if I was offered to be on like Lego Masters or to be like a designer, would I do it? And no, I love the Lego education side of it. I think it would be too much pressure to actually work for Lego or do it competitively. So moving on from Lego and social media, I would love to become a teacher, but in a non-school environment. Very similar to what I did at Legoland, but for a better salary, because if anyone works for Merlin or Legoland itself, they know they don't pay the best. You get paid in the experience and the perks and benefits. They're a hugely well-paid company, unfortunately. So yeah, I mean, I love social media. It's been very much a filler for the time. I've loved all the connections I've made, and I've loved the learning journey. I don't think I'm ever going to be at a level where I can make it a full-time job, purely because of my type of content. And the market is busy with Lego TikTokers as it is. I mean, I'm super grateful for the audience that I do have and how much I have grown, but it takes time and luck with videos. Like not everyone can just drop everything and just do TikTok for a full-time job. So I was fortunate enough to be able to really put some time into it. But moving on from social media, education, teaching, tutoring would be really good fun as well, like more one-to-one stuff. I absolutely love special needs schools, so working in that sort of environment, which I used to do that as well. That's super rewarding. And as I said, Lego's always been a hobby. But the education is kind of where I see myself going. If not, going back into the theatre as well, actually using my degree and doing something either for schools visiting or like workshops. And my cousin worked at the Royal Shakespeare Company. He did like lots of like touring shows and taking it into schools and doing like Shakespeare workshops and stuff like that. And I've always been like really like like into that sort of stuff. It's like, yeah, the whole learning outside the classroom environment is where I kind of see myself going in the future. But for now, I'm just enjoying kind of doing what I'm doing here.
So on the thinking about, because you kicked off a podcast, then you ended it, then you talked about bringing it back for like the second series.
Yeah.
Is that still the plan, or does it just take too much of your time and focus? And is it on the back burner, or is it cool boxed?
Yeah, it's difficult with the podcast because, again, I think I kind of just, when I first started the whole TikTok stuff, I just kind of just tried a bit of everything. So I tried YouTube, I tried Instagram, I tried merchandise, recently I've got Patreon now, and it's just little bits everywhere. And as you said, with like your TikTok, YouTube, Instagram sort of journey, you do really need to focus on one to begin with, and then get your audience into different pots depending on how you're going to use it. Whereas what I was using the podcast for was just to chat to people, because I didn't have a TikTok audience at the time.
Yeah.
Whereas what then happened with TikTok and finding all these amazing people that share the passion that I do, was I was just chatting with them on a daily basis. I didn't need to create a podcast. So for me, the podcast was never for, it sounds weird, but it was never for an audience. The podcast was just for me to talk to people. And I just happened to record it and put it online. And it was kind of a way to document it. I can then go back and listen to it. So I did all season 1. I then rebranded it to the Brickheads podcast. And then I got an episode with Obi-Wan Kenobrix and Earl Fan Builds. And they were great fun. Like the one I did with Earl Fan, it was like a 2-hour episode. We were just chatting about all sorts. And for me, again, I just used it as a way just to find out more about who this guy actually is. It's like, I've seen his lives, I've seen his videos, I've never really spoken to him. So the podcast is kind of, it's on a back burner at the moment because it's not serving a purpose.
Yeah.
It was just a way to get to know people. It was never monetized. It was never a way to like build an audience. It was, as I said, it was just a way to kind of just stay connected with the community. But now I managed to do that on TikTok instead. So it's still there. I will do the new episode every now and again, but it's not like weekly episodes taking my time or pressure, because I record it via Skype, put it into Audacity, play with the levels, put it online. I don't do jingles. I don't cut it or anything like that. It's very much raw, out of the conversation. So I don't know what's going to happen to it, but it's still there.
And that's exactly what this was for me. It was, I really wanted to talk to people, and you can do it on TikTok, but I feel like when you're on TikTok, you have to pay so much more attention to the comments, because it's just, people can get really noisy and stuff, whereas with this kind of, it's not as like, I think it's more that, you know, you have that core following, but people drop in and out a lot more on TikTok, whereas on here people kind of like, they make an effort to come here, so it's a little bit more chilled. They talk amongst themselves, we bring them in as we go, like at the right time, so it's a lot more chilled, and I really enjoy that. But yeah, it's very much about me just understanding people and having conversations that with people who have similar interests to me, and interests have really changed and grown over time as well. So yeah, I totally get that. Another part of your content, so Aidan's asking here, is because I know you started playing Fortnite and you touched on it a little bit earlier. How much of a gamer are you, and do you have a top 5 games? I don't think I could name a top 5 games anymore.
Yeah, so not that I play currently, but I used to be a huge gamer, like at uni with my mates, especially at college. So top 5, so Skyrim, number 1, put years into Skyrim. The lore behind it, all the hidden details, absolutely amazing. So it would be Skyrim, Black Ops, Fable 2, absolute banger of a game. Love Fable 2. RuneScape, brilliant game. I played that for years. And then Fortnite now. I play a bit of COD Mobile every now and again, but that's very much just me, just for myself. But no, I think top game of all time, Skyrim. It's absolutely
Never
amazing.
played
Have
it.
you played any of the Elder
No,
Scrolls? Or anything?
never played it, but it's right up my street. But I think about the same time, I was just mad into the Assassin's Creed games.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I
Black
never
Flag
kind
was.
of,
I played Black Flag and
oh,
two. I played.
yeah. Yeah, Black Flag, and then which is the one where was it 2 that you were running around like Florence in Italy
Yeah,
in the
yeah.
Renaissance
So that was the
period?
second one, and
That
then
was
you had
brilliant.
Brotherhood and Revelations. I can't remember
Yes.
what the third one was.
Was the third one not Black Flag? Somebody will know.
Yeah, there's one where you got a tomahawk. I can't remember what that was.
Yeah, that was that Revolut? No, was that
They all had
Brotherhood?
very similar names after 3.
Yeah. And then you've got the more recent one, which is Valhalla.
Valhalla, which I've not played, but that looks
Never
quite
played
cool.
it. Yeah, it does look pretty good. But I feel like now the big thing for me is I don't have, especially with TikTok and all that, because gaming, I do a bit of gaming, more like play with other people, like followers and stuff like that, and like friends that I've made on this platform. Gaming is very casual to me, so I don't throw the hours into it. And you just like games like that, you need time. So the Lego Star Wars game will be the exception for that, and I really look forward to playing it. But
I think with the Lego games as well, I never did Lego Star Wars when that was a big thing, but when I had my Xbox, like CEX was a great shout to kind of just get secondhand cheap games. Ellie is not a gamer, but she absolutely loves the Lego video games. So we played through, what did we have? Indiana Jones, Pirates of the Caribbean, both Harry Potters, The Hobbit, Lord of the Rings, and we just did it just back to back, just completed them both.
Yeah.
And I've never seen her so engrossed in a video game, because for her it was like a digital tidy up game. And it was great. You go in, smash everything, you collect things, and then you build it and fix everything. And it was great fun, because it's like gaming for me, like you said, it's very casual, and it is like Skyrim is a single player game, and I would just get engrossed into it. Whereas games like Halo 3, I play with my mates. Gears of War, I used to play. COD, obviously. They're all multiplayer games. So to then go back into a multiplayer game, but with someone sat next to you, was a very different experience compared to just playing it over a headset. So I would put the Lego games in a separate category compared to the best games. It was just a very different experience. So Darth Walker, hype for the Skywalker saga then. So no, for me, because I never had that connection with the original Lego Star Wars. So, and I don't know if it's going to be a remake of all those ones, or is it going to be very much?
I think the same engine, like the engine and the third, I think. But the engine is apparently fully redesigned. Like like everything, like the functions are so different. However, I'm the opposite. Somewhat the opposite. I've never played a Lego game, because the Lego games kind of emerged at a time when I wasn't really interested in Lego, and I was more interested in drinking girls. But then even when I did buy games, it was like the Modern Warfare games and all of that. So I never really played them, and then I considered getting like some of them to play back over the last year or two, like once we knew this was coming out. But again, it would have absorbed time that I was putting into content. So and if I had a bit of bother about this time last year, I bought my MacBook, which the plan was to use it to stream like through Xbox, which I did do some stuff, but I was doing it on Twitch. But then I sacked off my Twitch account and thought, right, double down on YouTube, because again, it's another platform. So I thought, well, I can do this. I can do some live streaming of gameplay, but I'd need the Elgato. The Elgato I need is fairly expensive. The one I bought didn't work and all that. And I just thought, I can't be asked right now. But it's something I want to come back to and just spend a bit of time on as well, because them days or nights that you can't be bothered to build Lego, or you haven't got the energy to build Lego, or you haven't got the space to put it when it's built, I can just play a game and jump on and do the similar things. So we'll see. I really want to do that, but at some point I just want to do that. But But yeah, I'm looking forward to playing it. And to your point, it could be that thing whereby I keep saying the missus about getting a Nintendo Switch. Just like 'cause she's not really into gaming. The last thing she ever really played was a Wii when she lived back at home. I was like, well, we can do that and we can have do something together there, but she's not interested. But maybe playing co-op on there will help.
Yeah.
So we'll see. But yeah, it's why Fortnite though? That's the thing for me. It's like because
I think because it's just an easy game. And I don't build on it. I'm very much just shoot them up, see how long I can last. And I think because it's not realistic. Like I tried playing Warzone the other day, and I nearly had an anxiety attack. It's so realistic and so just not graphic, because I sound a bit like a wet blanket if I say graphic. But it's not an easy game to control when you're so used to a game like Fortnite. And I think because, again, I'm British, I'm cheap, because it's a free game, I do that instead rather than paying for games every single time. I don't have the Battle Pass. I just kind of just play it because it's just last man standing, nice and easy, fine. I play as a Stormtrooper, awesome, job done. There's not other reason behind it. I mean, I play with my little cousin online, so that's really nice. So we've got that little bond with that. And then obviously now started to kind of stream it a little bit. There's a big Fortnite following here on TikTok as well. Lego TikToker doesn't build in Fortnite. No, my fingers aren't quick enough. I panic. Like my little cousin, he plays on his computer, and it's just like, it's like this. It's like that scene from Bruce Almighty where he's typing the emails. And it's like, how do you do that? I struggle with just 4 controllers like this. What was I saying? So yeah, it's just that way to kind of just engage with another type of audience on a TikTok live. Like the whole brick banana thing we're doing was just makes me laugh. Because like we just did a game of like a team of 50 of us playing one night. And it's like, I just thought, sod it, put it on a TikTok live. Let's see how many people join in. There's like 50 people wearing banana costumes, and I wet myself laughing. So I was like, this is ridiculous. This was when I was back in the UK. My dad came in, and he was like, what are you doing? I was like, oh, I'm just playing Fortnite with 50 people dressed as bananas. He was like, why? I was like, why not? This is amazing. And I was like, and look how many people I've got watching this live. I've like 100 people watching. I was like, this is bizarre. Like, why are people watching this? But yeah, it's just a game. It's just mind-numbing. It's like I asked my mum-in-law, like she plays Candy Crush all the time, and I was like, why do you like it? And it's like, because your brain can turn off. It's colourful. And you just swipe away. And I think for me, that's what Fortnite is. It's like you can just turn off from the outside world, watch a screen, and then just shoot things. And it's like, cool. So that's why Fortnite.
Well, I do the same, but I play Warzone. But yeah, it's there are times when Warzone gets very intense.
Yeah, we should play together. I don't know what I'm doing, but if I think I was playing with someone, it might be a bit easier.
Well, there's plenty of us. There's plenty of people play, and we keep. When I first got into it, it was actually Reese who got me playing, and I was playing with like him, his brother, his friends, and stuff.
Yeah,
and like we play as quads. Where I always just play solo now. But yeah, I played with like few people, but it is good. The problem is though, when you're playing as a team, the other teams on there are just like so well drilled. Yeah. So like you're running around as a team who it's like 3 or 4 individuals just like run around emptying crates and be like, oh, look what I've got. Yeah. And then like other teams are like, right, flank left, push. And like, you just get absolutely mauled. But yeah, it's good.
Think about Reese, he's back, isn't he? I saw the other day that he was live, but I didn't catch it, unfortunately.
So yeah, he's still in Taiwan, and so I was speaking to him briefly through Instagram, but he has 1,000 minifigures waiting for him to get home in June, and his goal is to get to 5,000 so that they can then absolutely be like the biggest store on Bricklink when he gets back, and then he can. And then he can just launch that with like TikTok and stuff again. It'd be nice to have him back. I think he has been missed, and he was a great bridge. He was just like a great bridge between so many parts of Lego TikTok, especially in the UK. So yeah, it'd be good to have him back. I look forward to having him back. And
he was one of the very first accounts that I started following as well. There's Bricks with Benny Z was in there, and I was like, he kind of. I didn't know what Bricklink was until I started following Reese, and I was like, oh, I didn't know that was a thing. So.
Yeah, he does well on it as well. And when he came on here, he was one of the first people we had on and talked about like analytics. Like the business mind that he has is unbelievable. Like if anybody could make a business out of reselling Lego, it would be Reese. And yeah, I'm interested to see when he comes back and how he gets on.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's but mate, we're gonna have to start wrapping up because it's like it'll be past midnight for you, I'm sure. And like it's
so 10 past, but everyone's in bed, so it's all good.
But yeah, what have you got going on kind of this week? What should people be tuning in for? Kind of where should they be tuning in? Because as always, your Linktree or your whatever it's called, direct.
Yeah, I use Direct Me just because it just gives me all the pro stuff from Linktree for free. So again, me being tight, and it's like I'll just use that instead.
I totally need to find a better one. I know people use beacons quite often, and beacons look so much better.
Direct.me has been absolutely fine for me. You can customize it, you get your own themes on there, you can make it animated, and it's all free. It's like, yeah, okay, cool. So what have I got coming up? So obviously I've got like lots of videos in the draft. So I've got more minifigures of TikTokers coming up. Some of them are better than others, but they all make me laugh, which is cool. There's a new series where a lot of people are asking me to help identify certain minifigure parts and pieces as well. So kind of inspired by Matt Mellish, but I know he does it for his own hauls that he does. People tag him in videos where I've been having people like asking me, what is this piece? Where is this from? And because of that, the trivia style stuff, I kind of use it to kind of create content that way. What else we got coming up? More alternate uses for Lego pieces. So that's quite an interesting one for me because I'm learning a lot. I think the reason I post what I post is because I'm also learning at the same time. So 70% of the time, I know the answer to questions that people have, like, where's that from? What's that? What's this? But then the rest of the time, it's like, I have to go and find the answer. And then I learn something, which is great. So I kind of wanted to know from, obviously, yourself and the people in the chat is like, do people want to see the process of how I find out the stuff that I find without being a really boring video, but like Googling what number is this setting? Is it this? Like, could it be more of a Matt Mellish style video where it's like, I think it's in this one, but let me show you the process of kind of confirming how it is, without me just being like, oh yeah, it's this piece, as if I knew it straight away, which I don't want to give the impression that I know it off the top of my head, because I don't. I put a lot of time to try to actually 99% of the time get the right answer. Sometimes I really fail and I get it completely wrong. Like, I've got one in the drafts where I don't think it's the right answer, but it's very close to what I think it is, but I just can't find the answer. So what do people want to see the process of it, or more, is it more just like, just tell me what the answer is, keep it easy?
No. So in this, my mantra in this thing is, think of, give a man a fish, he will eat for a day. Teach a man to fish, he will eat for a lifetime. And that's it. Like if you give the answer, you will get the question the next week. Whereas if you give the process, people then start asking, all right, okay, so I've learned how to do that, but what do I do next? And like then it becomes a series, right? Rather than like, because you will get bored of it. Like you will get bored of just looking for things for people. So it's sounds good.
New idea. But yeah, that's pretty much it this week. Got no Lego training now until March, just because kind of schools. We've got a bit of a backlog from last year, so we're just kind of getting those all filled up. And then nothing particularly special booked in. Unless, of course, you wanted to come do my podcast, and we can get that recorded, because I know we've been talking about.
You asked me, I said yeah, and I'm just waiting for you to say yeah, we're going to do it. I would say from your perspective, probably because I know you reached out to several people, get some dates booked in and create that series and create that thing. But absolutely, maybe put me last, because we've talked quite at length today. So then, like, not that it hasn't been enjoyable, but obviously just to refresh our minds. Otherwise, we'll be kind of sat there and be like, what are we talking about now? And I get that it's different because it's like opposite sides of the table and all that. But no, nice. Any lives? I know you don't particularly plan lives.
I think with the lives, I've got some builds. I've got builds to do. I've got my Ecto-1, the original Lego Ideas one with me. I've got all 3 creator cars, which is the Mini, the Beetle, and the camper van. I've also got a few more minifigures to sort out as well. Got my Lord of the Rings thing that I need to kind of fill with the minifigures and do some more content with that. And then obviously I've got brand new robotics kit, which I haven't built with live yet. I've done workshops with it, but I've not covered it live. So again, because I took a big break from the Lego lives, to building every single day, it's just trying to find the right time and kind of the motivation to do it, and why I'm doing it. Is like, is it to tie in with an announcement for something that's coming up? Is it just to jump on, just to build for the sake of building, or because I need to build something? So because I've got a Game of Bricks set on its way, which is going to be for the creator Beetle, so I may use that for a live and actually show people how it installs on a live. But again, quite difficult to balance the comments, because you know how fiddly they are if you're not paying attention to it. So yeah, nothing scheduled in live wise, but keep your eyes open. It's just, I quite like just the lunchtime chats, just like literally popping the camera on, seeing people around and just having a chin wag. That's always really nice.
No, they are. There's something about the lost art of conversation for sure. It is good. It is.
It doesn't always need a purpose. It can literally just be, how is everyone doing? And let's just have a chat.
Indeed. And I do think, should I do that more on Instagram? Just because I've got like 12,000 followers there, but realistically, I don't connect with them all. So it just gives people an opportunity to just sit and chill, like do more build stuff on TikTok, big build stuff here, but then on Instagram, just do like chill and like Q&A sort of stuff and just get a feel. Because I probably don't use it because I'm not comfortable using it, because I've never really used it. But it can't be that different to anything else. So just do it by sitting and chilling and be like, look, I don't get to usually come live with you, so let's go with that. So we'll see. Nice. Hints for next week. Is that me, Harvey? Not sure, but I'm not. So I should go live because I haven't been live on TikTok properly. Done a build for a couple of weeks. The problem is everything I've got to build is of a decent size, and I've got nowhere to put it. Maybe the Everyone is Awesome set, but others that have built it have had very heated lives, and I'm up for it, but I'm not ready for it yet. So when I'm ready for it, I'm ready for that live. But I don't know.
I got such backlash from the video that I posted about it. It was like, obviously I posted saying, like, everyone can have an opinion, just be mindful of how you share it. It's like, if you do support it, if you don't support it, it's your opinion. And then this one guy, in every single video after I posted that video, just kept putting in it, he's what's the word? Absolute brain fart. Like, he doesn't support LGBT, he's against gay rights. No. It's like, no. I said I'm fully supporting this set and what it stands for. I'm saying if people don't agree with it, that's their opinion. Just be mindful of how you share it, and don't be an absolute dick to people in the comments. But this guy was like, I had to block him, because he was coming up the top comment on every single one of my videos. Because it's like, that's literally not what I said. I said exactly the opposite to what you're now posting. But I was like, oh. So yeah. But let me know when you do that live, because it'd be interesting to see how people are with it.
I might do it. I might do it actually as like an ASMR one, and then do it as a bit of a chilled one with like some lo-fi music on, put like the lights on, and then put the camera pointing so you can't see me, but you can hear my voice. I might do it as one of them. I'm not sure yet. That's what is in my head. And I'm generally not, it's not one of those that I'm kind of like hiding away from. I just need to I need to be in the right.
You know,
I need,
yeah.
I need to have the right energy, but I also need to be pretty chill. Like I don't want to do it after the end of a bad.
You don't want to go in ready for a fight,
just be like fuck off. But yeah,
which is amazing, because I think that's, for me, is the reason why it's one of my least favorite and most favorite sets, because it's like I would love to just sit and build it. Hey, Lisa. Not in a weird, creepy way.
I love that.
Bless her. Well, yeah, because I love it and I hate it. I hate it because of the people that hate it, but then I love it because of what it actually stands for. And it's one of the reasons I don't yet have it and I wouldn't build it live, is because I wouldn't be able to bite my tongue and not be hateful towards the people that are hating on it and hating on the LGBTQ plus community, because I fully support it. And then because people are just dicks, unfortunately.
Well, do you know, funnily enough, you know, when I talk about like when you go live and live does well, and then you start like hitting the FYP and stuff, and then so with my phone angle, because it's up there, so it's above Winnie the Pooh, and somebody, so you can see it through the phone, and somebody came in and they were like, "Oh, that's a bit of a sus set you've got up there," and I was like, "Really? Really? Like what's sus about it?" And they were like, well, you know, and I was like, it sounds like you've got a bit sus issues that you haven't kind of
like you've got a problem, not me.
Yeah, like whatever your search history is like nothing to do with me. So but that's the thing, when you get older you realize all that, don't you? But yeah, I would like to go live. The missus is actually away tomorrow night, so that seems like this is the thing, like the missus is away with work tomorrow night, so that feels like a prime opportunity for me to build something, because then I can kind of go at my own pace. I don't need to worry about noise, I don't have to worry about anything really. I can just kind of crack on. But it's that thing of like whether I'll be up for it tomorrow night, but we'll see. We'll see. Yeah. We'll see how it goes. But
how's little Opie doing? Is he all right?
He's all right. He's all right. He's had his quarterly bath today, so he smells like an old man. He's got like old man shampoo. It smells unreal. So he's gone from there. Okay, so Harvey, good point. So right now, so I'm away in Manchester next Sunday night, so the Opie-Verse next week will actually be on Saturday, if at all. I don't want to like force it, but I am lining someone up, and whilst when I went to check something, when I went to check that video that I showed you earlier on, that Primark one, it's I've seen the response from the person, but all I've seen is like the little bit you can see from the inbox, so I haven't confirmed that person yet, and they're in the States, and it could become a bit of a time issue and all that, but we'll see, because I don't want to push it. I want to be flexible enough to push it a bit later, but at the same time don't want to push it too late to alienate my usual audience. So we'll see how it goes, but just watch this space. But you know, I'm so like, I've spoke to this person before on somebody else's podcast, and I followed them for a while, and everything we just touched upon will be like, it'd be such a brilliant, they're all in some ways will be almost like a grumpy old man, but I love it. Like it's like the grumpy old man that I am absolutely on the path to be. Do you know, like when you're younger and you feel like you need to be diplomatic, and then I feel like I'm at that point where it's like, if I'm in the right mood, I'll be really diplomatic and engaging. And then some other times you're like, oh, just shut the fuck up, will you? And then like, but then like, I feel like he's past that point. Like he's at the point where he's like, well, like, do you know what I mean? Like, it's just like, meh. Yeah. Like, I'm just going to see it as it is. Like, this is who I am. So
I know. Yeah. So I posted, this was probably too much, but I thought, you know what? I did a video the other day about the troll Big Fig. But I commented to someone else. There's a person that tagged me in the video asking me to identify it. I commented on their video saying what it was, and I thought, it's like he/she is from this set, because I don't know if the troll's a boy or a girl, and I didn't want to offend anyone by saying the he troll. And it's like, what am I doing? It's a bit of plastic. It's not a he or a she. It's a troll. And then someone in the comments said, did you just give that troll a gender? I think that's a bit much. I was like, don't want to offend anyone. That's the world we live in today. It's like, just put they. They are from this set.
So So I thought about this because I am fortunate enough that it is never an issue for me. And I do genuinely feel for those people who have to go through that, and particularly one for themselves, but particularly the world that we live in, where it's because you're different, somebody always wants to challenge you. Like they want to aggressively challenge you. There are those who passively disagree, but respectfully disagree and kind of take a step back. But there are those that are like, it's almost like they want to fight. And I just thought, like, all right, okay, fair enough, whatever. But then I thought, like, when I talk about little Opie, the dog, and this is what I think about, like, I get offended on the inside when people call Opie she.
Yeah.
So then I'm thinking, like, that's me about my dog. Like, how do people feel about themselves? Yeah, and like so that was the first time I actually was able to feel, and I know it's like worlds apart, totally get that, but it was the first time I actually felt like was able to feel a level of understanding and empathy, even just like a smidge of it, and then from there I was like, okay, that totally makes sense. But yeah,
it's the question that you get in your lives. It's like, what are your pronouns? It's like, why does it matter to you? I was just thinking, it's such a personal question, and there's so many users out there from the transgender community and from the LGBTQ plus community that aren't sure how they're not sure who they are at the moment. So to have people on TikTok coming in and asking them, what are your pronouns? And like, even TikTok does it now. It's got an option to say pronouns. It's like, why does it matter? Everyone can be who they want to be. And it's like, I don't know why you have to then give everything a label, but I
feel like those comments are there to trip you up. We see so many TikToks that are made of screen recordings of sound bites and stuff. And that's why I'm always really conscious about, like when people come in and say, can you give me a shout out? And you're like, and that's the thing, there are people who are very genuine, but like those genuine people you've got second guesses about because you're like, what's the ulterior motive? What am I falling into here? But yeah. What a way to end the stream, mate. What a way to end the stream. But yeah,
we're very deep, very quickly.
Yeah, it does. And so, Driver King, to answer your question, it's a web-based piece of software called StreamYard. There's a free version of it, but it plasters itself all over your stream. So I pay like £18 a month for the subscription. It gives you so much more features. That's what I use. And then I have my MacBook, my additional monitor, my GoPro, my microphone, my Yeti, so everything from there. Is this the longest one-on-one on the Opie-Verse? Yes, it could be. I might have had slightly long, about, it could be. I'm not too sure. It could be though. So yeah, can you have a shout out, please? Of course, JB Bricks. Everybody shout out to JB Bricks. Can we have a shout out, please? Just wherever.
JB, follow me. I follow JB. I'm not sure if he follows me back, which is always a little bit awkward when he's in a stream. It's like that. Oh, hey, JB.
He will now.
I am here.
I'm sure he will now.
JB also asked the question that we spoke about earlier, which was, what do we count as good videos on our account? So, JB, if you go back and watch, I think maybe an hour in, we talked about that already.
Yeah, we talked about it at great length. So it's definitely, and I know you'll go back and watch it, JB. So we appreciate it.
As well as following the Brick Educator.
Absolutely. His links are all down below. So that, and all of my links are down below. So yeah, go and check it out. But thank you guys. Yes, I will be live on TikTok through this week at some point. Obviously, stay tuned. We'll see what happens. I'll keep you posted on next week's Opie-Verse. If it goes ahead, it will be on Saturday. But if it doesn't, then we're skipping to 2 weeks' time, and we have London Bridge Bricks on. So and then I'm on his stream on the Friday and he's on mine on the Sunday. But it'll be fun. Awesome stream. Thank you very much. And what you get to now see is as we bid you goodbye, rather than me standing with us waving endlessly waiting for you to go, we will say goodbye, but then I will cut you out and you'll get a nice little outro video as well as the intro video on. Thank you, everyone. Have a great evening. Have a great rest of your day. Have a great week. See ya.